Yo guys, what is up? And welcome back to another episode of the Shane Tour. We are here with our lovely guests, Box on Ket, Leifon, and Solo. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
Great site is BS.
Fuck you, you
It
little.
already starts. I'm doing all right.
Don't you worry. I have something prepared.
Good, good.
I've
So okay, keep it
prepared
in the
for
back of
this.
your head then for a few seconds. so, if you guys haven't seen the last episode, this will be a direct continuation from those points and topics that we were discussing. So maybe give that a listen before you actually attend this one. We're gonna do our best to maybe swerve from the political talk and just stick on topic for this. So, if you do notice an hour section in the last one of politics, I assure you it won't happen for this one. Probably.
Is it really an hour? Wow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a good hour, bro. Like,
Yeah, it's all right. We're not going to go political in this one. I'm just going to be racist for anyone that's against the Great South.
so I'm gonna take a bit of a backseat later in this episode when we talk about lore. I'll leave that to Leifon and Solo when we kind of delegate that. But first of all, I want to start with one of the more straightforward topics. Box on Ket recently played through Dark Souls Remaster for the first time. Now, we both have kind of had a very similar experience in terms of our Souls journey so far, because I went from Elden Ring being the first game straight into Dark Souls, and then you have also gone from Elden Ring into Dark Souls, so there's kind of some overlay there. However, you were a little bitch, so I can't relate on that front as much. I'm just,
Well, may I point out,
okay.
it's less that I'm a bitch and more, I was more tactically prepared.
Tactically prepared.
By looking things up
No.
and going to
Yes.
the most broken
can't-
place known to man beforehand.
I can hear
You cannot
your
say
sweat.
broken. I've seen you run straight to pinwheel off the start and rock his shit with fists.
To be fair, though,
Yeah.
he's earned that right, though. I mean,
I've earned the
also-
right.
No, you have not.
he has fist only Madeir. Okay, I can't take anything from this man. I can't do it. It's the same for
I
Solo.
think so is Solo.
Hello.
I was going there. I fucking said it. So, Leifon, I'll start with you. Then I'll get to the person. You'd think I'd maybe start with Box, the person who actually did the series, but no, you take a back seat there. Leifon. What were your thoughts on Box's series? Now, Box, I'm not just gonna dunk on you the whole time. I actually do have like some
This is
things.
mine's
About
gonna be a. I like to call it a. We're allowed to swear a lot on this, right? Correct.
I don't think we've ever sworn on the podcast actually.
Well,
Yeah, that's
I'm about to
fucking
create
wrong.
I'm about to do it right now. I'm creating a shit sandwich.
Oh damn!
Some shit, some good shit, and some bad shit, and going back to some good shit at the very end.
Can you fit some carrots in there?
No, sorry, that's for you later, Shane.
Okay.
God damn.
Or Box when he was fighting Artorias.
Fuck you.
You could get back on Peg Talk, Box. I mean,
Listen, right.
that's never going away, bro. That's on the 7 Days series for life. Yeah.
I've seen some fucking good-looking ass goth birds. I will die on that hill of TikTok.
I love it. Okay. So Box, you chose your first build as the Thief build, which is a Master Key. I am so very glad no one on your stream the entire time told you what you could have done. The
With
entire
Blighttown?
time. Yes, skipping Blighttown entirely.
Yeah.
That is the main reason why to get Master Key. It is to literally ignore that whole side.
It's-
I just want to inflict a little bit of chaos here just before you continue. Leifon, I haven't got the go-ahead from you yet, but I feel like this is the appropriate time and place, so I'm just going to come out and say it. Box, you had like literally zero need to keep pumping in levels to your stamina. Just like
I just let him keep doing it. I only
completely
I thought
pointless. Did not help you whatsoever.
So there was one time, Box, where you wanted to put points into resistance. I thought about it long and hard about letting you suffer to do that to yourself.
So, what you fuckers are telling me here? Resistance makes shit.
its resistance is garbage.
Oh, resistance is
So-
like barely a factor at all.
It does like 0.1 to 1 point of defense up.
To be
That's
fair
it.
though, Leifon, actually, like again, like there were better levels he could have put it into. Like as he was saying, like he wanted to put the levels into health, which would have made it completely OP. But like the fact that he was constantly upping his endurance did mean that he could fucking swing more and more and more as well. So like it kind of backfired in a way too.
It's the fact that his weapons that he chose, which by the way, on record, he chose the Great Scythe. And for any Souls vets out there, they know full dang well
Should we give
that
them
is
a
some
moment of silence?
malarkey.
Okay,
Mate,
whatever.
listen, fuck your moment of silence. I have a presentation prepared for this
Oh,
stream.
good
you fuckers.
PowerPoints. Let's go.
Perfect.
I have a PowerPoint prepared for this podcast.
I actually
Let me
hope
hear
you
it.
do.
I can't wait
re-
to dismantle it.
Please tell me you actually
What?
have one that was put together in like 2 minutes.
Oh, I have a PowerPoint, yeah.
Okay, good. Feel free to use podcast chat.
Feel free to
Hold on.
put it in there.
Should be a link, right? I can see that.
I want to find a really cool fucking transition.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. That's fucking
Transition.
awesome.
He's actively making it.
Okay, well,
hey.
He goes into class for like his project that's due that day, and the teacher's like, Robbie, is your project ready? Yeah, just 2 seconds here.
so there was two sides. There's like a couple sides in the game. You could have gone for the normal scythe, which is, if I'm Silly, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It is actually in Sen's Fortress.
Oh yeah, there's one that's called a scythe, but is not a fucking scythe.
It is a scythe. It's a different type of scythe. It's a scythe. It is actually a legitimate scythe. It was used for cropping.
Nah.
For cropping.
Lost
That's what it's used for.
lost the meaning of the word scythe.
Let me tell you. Okay, if that gives it the meaning for scythe because it was used for cropping in the 1800s, okay.
Oh, no.
You really want to go down this road with the history major?
I really don't.
No. I was going down. It wasn't more of
I
a
know where
history
the fuck
major,
you
more
were
of a
going.
racist major. Leifon took me serious for a minute. I thought I was doing history. No. My points are.
Where's
Black
our
people.
PowerPoint?
Well,
Can I
until he gives me
fucking
that
share my screen?
PowerPoint.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, I was gonna say if he doesn't
There's
give it
no
to me
way
in
of
like
sharing my
5
screen, is there?
seconds.
Yes and
There is a way to share your screen. If you just gotta find it.
you just gotta try harder.
Thanks,
anyways.
guys. You
So under RHR,
I don't know what
you can
version
actually.
he's on. Shane is
I don't
weird.
know.
Thanks for that, Leifon. When was that even put in? The 10th
Wait,
of
what?
March.
Wait, what? When did I put? Wait, what? Where are you at?
Well, I tapped into the open chat for the RHR podcast, like chat for the actual audio. I've never opened this before.
I love that. I don't even remember doing that. That's the best part. Oh, it's 6 days before my birthday. Oh, perfect.
Box, what are you on? Are you on a laptop or your phone?
iPhone.
Yeah.
Which?
Which one?
That wasn't a
What?
yes or no question.
Oh, I just heard. Are you on a laptop? Yes.
Okay, right. If you're on a laptop, then just hover over RHR podcast, like the audio channel, and on the right, next to like create invite and that kind of stuff, there's open chat. Just do that, and you should have your options like for sharing screen and that kind of thing.
Or just click on it and it'll pop up like your profile, my profile picture, solos, and
Oh, yeah.
redheaded stepchild.
Normally it's at the bottom, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, usually, yeah.
Yeah. All I'm getting is mute and disconnect.
Wait, what? No, you're.
It's supposed to be just above.
Wait, maybe he doesn't have the permission because of the channel. Gosh darn it! Who the
I
fuck
do
made
have
this?
it.
Wait, you have it? Oh, well then there's no excuse.
Yeah.
Box.
Like, look.
Damn.
We're watching Solo's stream.
What are we watching?
Yeah, you're literally watching
This is
Discord.
bullshit. This is racist.
It's
This is
my screen.
Inception,
Oh, you want
hell
to see
yeah.
my? No, I'm joking.
Can we keep going? Can we just keep adding? Okay,
Oh,
I'm sorry
wait,
for
hold on,
everyone on
hold on.
audio. We're losing track.
I figured it out.
Figured it out.
Yeah, right. He's ready.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Let's see this.
Anyone
let's
on
see
audio,
this.
head over to the RedHeadRambles YouTube channel if you want to see this visual representation. Okay. What are we looking at here?
Why the Great Scythe is the best weapon in Dark Souls. My box on cat.
Damn, you know what? I'm intrigued.
Why wouldn't Great Scythe be in capital letters since it's capitalized in the game?
No, don't
same
try
with
to
Dark
correct
Souls?
the Englishman on his grammar. He doesn't appreciate that for some reason, seeing as though they fucking made it. But all right.
All right, let's
Could you
hear
please stop
all about this.
boxing into your mic? That'd be nice.
He's preparing the megaphone.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
This
goodness.
is the motherfucking
Boss,
T.
please don't. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I could fucking
Yep.
hear you. Yeah.
Why the Great Scythe is the best weapon in Dark Souls.
Okay.
By box on cat. Look at that transition, baby.
I can't. Did you take your mic outside?
No,
Okay.
I'm having to use my fucking other mic. Fuck you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You can change that in your settings.
Just get on with it. Get on with it. Holy shit.
What
We're
you-
like 10
what
minutes
you
into the
got?
podcast and the audio is
The Great Scythe is just better.
Okay.
Fuck you, Leifon. And because I
What?
used it.
There's
You're
like
not
3 other
ch- out-
slides.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Oh,
Why
he
is it on
probably
five?
opened it and it doesn't show it because he's like on the presentation.
It
Oh,
shows
my-
it-
There's no transition for us.
Oh fuck! Right, I'm starting again. Oh, this is absolutely abysmal.
It's gone to shit, boy. Ah, fuck. It's ended. Shit.
Darn. So, anyways,
Yeah,
I didn't
let's
see
actually
any like
have our
full-
conversation, shall we?
Okay,
Oh,
I
here we
am
go.
Yeah. Okay. So, Leifon, just get to your point then, if that's.
Oh, there we
Oh.
go.
Wait, what?
Let's go.
Transitions.
Transitions. Oh, I left. What? Okay.
Why the Great Scythe is the best weapon in Dark Souls. I don't know about that. We have Gold Tracer and Silver Tracer to say otherwise.
True. Right, are you ready for this?
Boys, might I present the torch for consideration?
Oh, you get the heck out of here. Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god. I said torch
Wait,
once
I-
and Box just went to send it to the fucking fiery pits of hell, huh?
He wanted to link the fire, okay?
I said torch and Gwyn was like, I got you.
Boop, 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 boop.
Are you ready for this, boys?
I'm waiting for transition.
Yes.
Oh, we are waiting.
Yeah. Oh!
Oh,
that's sick.
It just is better. Fuck you,
Anyone on
pussy.
audio, you're missing out here. You really are.
Box
This is some high-level
used
animation.
it.
Box did use
As
it.
you can tell, do you know when I had to quickly restart my router? I literally wrote this then.
Ah.
That's pretty
Now-
impressive.
Let's move on to the next stage.
Okay.
The
It's
life
not, it is
side.
just better. It
Because she
you had
half-breed.
all right. So I'm gonna have to stop you right here. You had to kill Priscilla to do it.
Yeah.
Your argument
Mhm.
is hereby invalid.
Nope. Let me explain why the life on Scythe is great as well.
I'm
I
listening.
mean, the first 2 points don't even really correlate with the Scythe. It's more Priscilla. Because she half-breed, would still smash. OP. Bleed.
Okay.
And
He
now
makes a strong
I bring up
argument.
my final point.
You still had to kill her.
Thanks for listening.
Fuck
fuck
that
that
Shane guy. I completely agree with that last statement.
I feel like I'm looking into this too much, but I both appreciate and hate the fact that you added the smallest scythe on my fucking slide.
Okay, so back to his playthrough.
Yeah, back to the podcast.
What? Don't qua.
No, go ahead. Yeah, what were we saying? Yeah, go on.
So, back on Box. I came in sort of. I saw him just after he killed Gargoyles. This is when I first started actually watching a stream. I come up and all I see is a great size. I'm like, what? Did you kill Pinwheel? He's like, well, who's a Pinwheel? It's like, okay. He's like, I just looked it up online to get the great size because I like size. I was like, okay, cool. I'm glad you like size. That's awesome. And then he saw a couple other weapons, like the gold trace and the silver trace, and I was like, please, for the love of God, do not use this weapon. Neither here nor there. And he's like, man, this game is so much fun. I was like, it's not really hard. I was like, I wonder why it's not hard.
Hey, I never said it's not hard. And if I
You
did, that was
did say
purely
no.
joking, Miles.
No. There were genuine moments where, like, on some of the bosses, you like Calamite, for example. You're like, Shane was making it out like Calamite was gonna be like a really hard fight.
Oh no, what I learned about that was during that fight, I had really good RNG
Yeah,
as to
you
what
did.
happened with me, where he
You
just
had
wasn't
fire like
fucking
5
about with me.
times. Do you even know what that grab does when he like brings you up into the air and you get the little symbol above your head?
Oh no, not in the
Ah,
slightest.
it's broken, bro.
It correct me if I'm wrong, Leifon, but doesn't it double the damage you take or something?
It does. It's called
It's the
Calamity Ring.
effects of the Calamity Ring.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, may I point out about that ring? Leifon, you're a fucking masochist.
Oh yeah, no, I straight up put the ring on. I don't care. Like I'm just like, well, I'm already gonna die. I might as well put this ring on as well.
Damn.
It has no other effect.
It's quite literally a fuck you ring from Miyazaki.
It may
It's
as well have
literal-
just had the description of suffer.exe.
I really
I
wish
mean,
He
look-
just fucking left it.
I really wish Miyazaki had the balls to make it a cock ring.
Oh yeah, that would have been absolutely hilarious. Let me add on to the fact that there's people out there that, if you guys don't know him yet, he is a YouTuber / streamer. His name is Zero Lenny. He does broken sword runs,
Oh,
and the idea of the broken sword is only people that have gone hollow should ever use this useless weapon, if that, or something along those lines.
Oh,
And-
yeah, the one from the beginning. Yeah.
No, that's whew.
You do like
Especially
3
in Dark
damage
Souls
with that
2.
shit, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Holy shit! I actually remembered.
But with all that being said, I asked him like, "Hey, so what'd you do?" He's like, "Oh, I went down to the catacombs." I was like, "How did you know about the Great Scythe?" And he said, "Oh, I looked it up." I was like, "Okay, what else did you look up?" I was like, "Oh, that's the only thing I looked up. I also looked up this thing about how to make glitches." I was like,
No, right.
how to dupe souls.
I'll defend myself on this.
I was about to say,
right?
just one sec.
So-
I feel like I'm in a courtroom. I don't feel like I'm doing a podcast. I feel like I'm judging.
No, I
Like, Your Honor,
object,
please.
Your Honor.
wait, let me get the
provide
fucking Ace
evidence
Attorney.
section AC.
I need to get the Ace Attorney theme.
Okay.
Yeah, cornered.
As you see by evidence B63, this right here. So before I started the Dark Souls series, I got a video. Hold on, let me just find it because it's still on my watch later. It was by a guy called. It's not Baron's Castle. That's a fucking lie. Continue your point a second. It might take a while.
All right, that's fine then. I'm going to continue on with this point of under reference point 3, 8,
Hey, that's
2,
what the fuck
five.
is
Fuck, he's got me here, boys.
9, 6, 8, which stands for fuck you in T9 language. It states, and I quote, anyone that uses the Great Scythe, let alone anyone that decides to up nothing but their dexterity after admitting that they up their dexterity because it increases their damage because it has good scaling. Because you saw it in a video.
It's so worth it.
Oh no, I'd seen a scaling thing because it's literally got a scaling thing that has like the ratings of it.
Could one of you please say objection?
Objection!
Objection! Okay, so the video.
Leifon, I can't wait for you to watch that
The
back
video-
if it's not muted.
Yeah, the video is called "Can You Beat Dark Souls 1 with Only Great Scythes" by the Backlogs. I watched before I started it the first 10 minutes, and it basically showed him like getting the Great Scythe and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I found out about it. And then a little after, I was watching Shane's. So I didn't find out about that like glitch until I seen Shane doing that rune farming spot.
It's not a
Mhm.
glitch.
I was like, oh, I wonder if there's a rune farm like thing that I could go to. So I had a quick little search, like rune farm. It was the second video that come up for me under the one Shane was doing.
Yada yada.
Mm-hmm. And what are runes? I don't understand what runes are.
Fucking souls, fuck you, you little prick. They're the things next to the sites of grace in the game.
What's the site of grace?
No, they're not. They're fucking.
Bonfire.
Well, my whole joke went wrong because they're fucking not even near like sites of grace. Are fucking on you at all times.
To vouch for him, I'm
The
saying
ultimate
bonfire
rune farm. Just hit to
playing.
a site of grace constantly, and you just get instant fucking. Oh yeah, that's amazing.
I'm saying bonfire for Side of Grace. Like when I was playing Elden Ring the first time, I kept saying bonfire.
I use them interchangeably. Like when I first went into Dark Souls after doing Elden Ring, it was constantly just like site of grace, ruins, and now I more so stick to like souls and bonfire. I don't really use ruins and site of grace all that much anymore.
Yeah.
But I think it's just
Because
because
you have
I've played more Souls games now, so like more Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
All right,
Mhm.
so
I won't lie though. While playing the game, my like favorite boss, but also most heartbreaking boss, was definitely Sif the clergyman.
Yeah.
Sith the clergyman.
I don't know.
Sif the beast clergyman. Damn right.
What?
He's trying to trigger you.
Sith the beast clergyman. You're combining two games.
Well, that's
No.
Wrong.
yes. Well
No,
done,
his
Leifon. Thank you
his
for
best friend's Artorias the Blackblade.
Oh my god.
Well, I've just got to add a little thing in here, boys. Don't mind me. How to use the Ask GPT again?
I will say though, Manus the first Elden Lord.
How the fuck do you do
What
this?
a prick.
Boys,
Okay.
how do you use the Ask GPT again?
Slash
what?
ask JPT.
I knew you were the right one.
No,
to
but
ask. You've used it
Manus,
the most.
the Manus fight
Yeah.
has got to be like one of my up there is one of my favorite fights, but also like that fucker just comboed me
Oh
to
yeah.
fuck.
Well, it was an actual boss fight for you. So remember how I told you can beat the game at level 80, and that you should be able to beat the DLC before you finish, before you like level up to past level 80. I
Uh-huh.
said that to challenge you.
Damn. All right.
Eh.
Apparently, Claptrap
Tomato,
isn't down bad.
tomato.
I know, but and then also for Artorias, when he's powering up in the corner, moaning his brains out over in the corner before he explodes, you can actually stun lock him out of that.
Nobody wants to pay attention to podcast.
I didn't know that.
All right, that's probably
Right, one second.
I did. I was ready, and then
So was
I saw that.
Let me just get
What
rid
happened?
of that real quick. Nah, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. You'll figure out when you watch the podcast, Leifon.
Okay.
Where's Box? Where'd he go?
So let's see. Back on the scythe. Let's see. All right. So he went down. He went through Blighttown. He got his ass kicked only a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do bad. I was not gonna tell him where the fuck to go.
Fair.
At all. And he figured it out eventually. Didn't help the fact that Rivers of Cringe was backseating him a little bit, trying to help him out.
I feel like Rivers of Cringe also. I mean, I think they had good intentions though, because like I think they were just against like any kind of gatekeeping. I know they kind of felt a little bit like you were gatekeeping me a bit, Leifon, which you probably
Mhm.
were a tiny bit, but like I mean, it wasn't to a detrimental point. Like I'm glad I had a challenge. You know me, like I mean, if I'm genuinely annoyed and I'm getting comments like "get good" and stuff, it's probably gonna annoy me. So I feel like he was probably trying to save me from that a little bit. But
And I kind of did by giving you Drake's sword.
yeah, but that was only very like that wasn't used for very long. You know, like
No.
I mean, Drake's Sword is really helpful for early to mid game.
no, for sure. My
That
point,
base damage nutty.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
for everyone on the point, by the way, I got rid of that Drake sword real fucking quickly, and I went right back up through Blighttown. I went right
3
back
times.
fucking down. Yep.
3 fucking times. He went through there 3 times.
Oh, I didn't. I just did it the once. Fuck that place.
I know, yeah. You had a fucking GPS fucking but when I see I don't want to just dunk on you though because I thought about something while watching your playthrough. And it was the fact that like with the Drake sword, right? Let's just throw that out there. Drake sword. What do you have to go through to get that sword, right? It's considered OP for the starting game, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we go with that argument. It's OP. It's hard to find in the sense that you're not just going to walk across it, right? You got to go through the steps to actually get it. So, you got to fire the arrows at the dragon's tail, break it, get it.
Good
that
luck.
kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, technically, and that's how the speedrunner are doing it. They bring the dragon to the bridge and they cut it from here, so they
Right,
take way less time.
right,
But
but
technically,
unless
you could like find it by accident.
right, but like you're not gonna just walk across it, Like I mean, how many people are
Yeah.
going up and like, cutting off the dragon's tail
It's
randomly,
And I said
There's
it's the
way
only-
more on the bridge on top of that, and that's the
Now-
best weapon.
Now, let me go ahead and throw this out here.
Okay, I do want to finish
as
my
well.
point after you, Leifon, but you go ahead.
When it comes out accidentally coming across it, you're not going to know about cutting tails off unless you played Demon Souls prior.
True.
You're not going to know. It's
That's
not in
true.
Dark Souls 3. It's barely in Dark Souls 2, and I'm sad to say they didn't bring it back in Elden Ring.
There are points as
So-
well that would have made sense in Elden Ring as well. It is quite sad. But anyway, yeah. So with that point, then we can agree that the Drake sword would at least be a little bit troublesome to find if you didn't have prior knowledge.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
With the Great Scythe, though, now again, I didn't actually see the exact placement where Box got it, but as far as I am aware, what Box did, and again, I'm not putting you down for this, Box, but I just want to get it straight. What exactly did you do? You went down, you kind of rolled through the threats, and where was the weapon exactly? Like, was it
It was
on the
behind
ground?
a Demon of Titanite. It's right behind a Demon of Titanite. In
Behind
the
him.
catacomb.
You didn't have-
Yeah, right.
You didn't have to kill him.
Oh, I don't know if you know where that spot is from Laythorn, but do you know where you like jump down and you meet that fucking skeleton
at
guy?
the bridge, yeah.
Yeah, it's literally on the room to the left instead of
It's in the same
On the
area
right
like
to
you're trying to head
themselves.
to Nito.
Right, but
the
it's
same
on the
areas
floor.
where
It's
you're-
not behind a hidden wall or nothing like that.
No,
you
it's just on the
No.
floor.
Okay, right.
It's right where
My-
you can like go say hi to Nito and join his Gravelord Covenant.
My problem with that was that the whole argument with Drake Sword is that it's OP in the sense that it does massive damage that kind of like negates the challenge of it at the beginning of the game. Whereas with the Great Scythe, it was insanely powerful. Like we're talking 3-shotting, 4-shotting certain bosses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet you can, if you just waited until that point in the game, like you did the game properly with a normal weapon up until the
Mhm.
catacombs, you could still stumble across that just randomly. Like it's not, you
Yeah,
didn't have to go
you
through
could.
any extra effort. So
But at
you-
that point, you already beaten, at that point you would, if you're going down the normal path, you'd already have been past Ornstein and Smough at that point.
true, you would have suffered, but like my point is the fact that Box was still doing massive damage. Now he upgraded it completely, but again, at this point in the game, you basically have all you need to upgrade things completely anyway. So when you pick that up, a random person, let's just say, they could completely upgrade that, start using that weapon from a point where they are technically allowed, and they would do absolutely massive damage to later game bosses as well. Because I thought when he got to maybe like Nito and like those later stage bosses that it was going to be like, oh okay, it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. It's not going to like take a quarter of his health bar every time he hits him. But it was like Nito was down in like 5 hits.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I feel like that was very like, that was kind of jarring for me personally, because I understood going out of your way for OP weapons, but that was one that was just kind of lying there. And it was
So
like,
I'm going to probably die on this hill on my own.
okay,
I will look at Dark Souls 1 like this. If you don't know anything about Demon Souls, because it was a PlayStation exclusive, Dark Souls is the first game to bring it around not just consoles, but PC as well. And for anyone that's never played the darn series, they're not going to know about how to create a proper build. They're not going to know. They're going to look at all these stats and be like, what the fuck is this? I don't understand.
Mhm.
Dark Souls 1, it was meant to be what it turned out to be, which was the first Souls game for a lot of new people. And it's not like you guys had the advantage of going through Elden Ring first. So you all got to have a chance to play the game casually and have a little bit of an easier time,
Mhm.
especially with iframes and Bloodhound Step.
No, that's valid. That's not even like a dig or nothing. Like that's
Or
genuinely
puts
like,
points
it is
into resistance.
Right, now you're trying to make it fucking personal.
But yeah, no, that did
See,
No, because
that
I
did
did
sound
that
the
my
only-
first time playing.
Had I not played Elden Ring before it and I seen like the scaling, like when I was looking at the weapons, I wouldn't have known that Dex would make that weapon stronger.
No.
Only because I played Elden Ring and I understood the scaling system was I able to make that weapon as like versatile and as useful as it was.
I understand, but I'm only the reason I'm bringing it up is for someone that never played Dark Souls before, which was me. I played Dark Souls 1 as my first game, and I was that guy that put points in resistance. I had 40 resistance.
I wasn't.
I had 40 resistance, 25 strength, 20 dexterity. I want to say like 19 vitality, and only like 10 endurance. I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
Right.
So that game was very hard for me, to say the least.
Box, I'm gonna quit the clowning on you now for a bit. Like we've had our fun with that. I want to get to actually getting your thoughts now, though, just like properly. So, for you, your personal experience, could you give us like a general idea of like what your thoughts were going into it versus what your thoughts were after, and kind of what mindset you were in near the beginning? Because I know like before you made any kind of good progress through Undead Burg, you were kind of considering that, you're kind of like on the fence, like, do I keep going or do I leave it, or what do I do with it?
Oh, unlike that whole thing, was this on the first one or the second run?
The first one, yeah.
On the first
Well,
one,
like overall, like, but that was the kind of like feel I was getting on your first time through.
no, on that first one, the one thing that I did want to do was, because I just kind of went through it, I didn't really change weapon apart from when I said it was the Morning Star. And obviously I explored a bit, I found different weapons,
Killed
but I
every
wasn't really
NPC.
willing to change to anything. So I went into it. I knew it was a game that I wanted to play, even if I didn't like it. But I say didn't like it, it's a fucking great game. No matter what you're gonna get, you're gonna like it. But I went into it, played that first bit with the Morning Star. I didn't like it because I wasn't OP. That's not the reason I didn't like it. I think my first impressions was I didn't take into account how very different and how like a lot older it was going into Elden Ring. So I just kind of thought, right, this is just going to be like Elden Ring, which was completely stupid of me to have went into the mindset of.
That was the same situation for me, Levon. You'll remember, trying to get to grips with the fact it's not Elden Ring.
Yep.
Yeah, continue, Fox.
And I think even when I did the proper run of it when I had the scythe, even then, like I think at least once a stream, maybe even more on some streams, I would always like compare it to Elden Ring because that's the only Souls game I had played. Going into when I play Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro, I'm not gonna focus on Elden Ring at all. I'm gonna compare them all to Dark Souls 1.
For Sekiro,
And-
you'll have trouble comparing to anything.
Oh no, I know. I've already been told from
think-
the last podcast. I have to
yeah.
unlearn everything again.
Well, I think the closest resemblance that you get, and it's not even a 1-to-1, but the closest resemblance you get for Sekiro would be Bloodborne, and you're not going to have that option at the moment.
To be fair, most of the prosthetic they have been used for weapon art Ash of War for Elden Ring. I noticed.
I meant more so for like in terms of the pace of the combat, more so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but so going into Dark Souls 3, because Dark Souls 1 was the first one, I'm going to be looking at how it's improved since Dark Souls 1. and
It improved a lot.
so
Yeah.
Leifon, I think you genuinely meant that.
I meant that in regards to
however,
how much you can R1 speed the game.
I'm also going to play Dark Souls 2,
Yes.
Oh.
and I'm not
Which
going to use an OP
version?
weapon.
I have never
Which
played
version
Scholar
of
of the
Dark
First
Souls
Sin.
2?
I'm
Okay,
the
okay.
only one available to me is Scholar of the First Sin.
I haven't
Okay.
even played it yet. I've bought it, but I'm gonna do that after June, I think, because I need my head clear for the grading and everything else.
God bless your soul.
I would personally, I mean, again, I'm not the one with the best Souls advice here out of the three of us, but I would not personally advise going into Dark Souls 2 as your next one. I don't know. I mean,
No, it's not going to be my next one.
okay.
Dark Souls 3 will probably be the better of the two.
It's gonna likely be, in terms of playing the like Soulsborne FromSoft games. I've just played Dark Souls 1. I'm either gonna go into Sekiro or a different Elden Ring run.
Okay.
Then
Another Elden Ring
Right.
run, really?
probably, yeah.
Well,
So
actually,
one thing-
that's pretty close to what I did in terms of like going from Elden Ring to Dark Souls
And
back
then
to Elden Ring.
depending on which one I did first, whether it was Sekiro or the Elden Ring run, I'll do the opposite.
Yeah.
So say if I played Sekiro, I'll do the Elden Ring run afterwards. Then I'll play Dark Souls 3. And then I'll probably play Dark Souls 2 sometime afterwards.
Minus Bloodborne
So-
was actually pretty very similar way I did it. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, Leifon.
So one thing I will say, Box, and it took a minute. You mentioned how you were like comparing the two a lot, and you were like, "Man, this game's nothing like Elden Ring." And I was like, and this was during the Gaping Dragon fight, and I was like, "Hey," "Where's the music?" It's like, "Oh, I turned that down." I was like, "What? Turn that up." And you're like, "Why?"
So the reason I had to turn it down in the first place was when I first did the run for it. When I first did my little stream for it before I actually did the proper playthrough. At certain points in the first stream,
Yeah, you
the
got
music was actually getting copyright striked on Twitch.
Oh,
So I didn't have that problem when I turned it down. But then, as I turned it up after the first couple streams, I didn't have that problem again.
Yeah,
So I don't
know what it was
know
about
if it was something in the very first part, but it
And
somehow
that's-
triggered a copyright strike.
and this is something that myself and Solo had that talk with Shane about a little bit, was about the music, and it didn't start clicking with you until Orange and the Smokes theme. Until you got a little bit of a taste of it with Gaping, a dragon, you're like, wow, this music's actually pretty cool. It's very atmospheric. It's very cool. And then you got to Orange and the Smokes, so I was like, man, this music is terrifying. You got a small taste of it with Capra, a small taste of it. But then you're like, man, this, and you were trying to compare the music between Elden Ring and Dark Souls. I was like, man, Elden Ring music's so much better. I was like,
No, Elden
really.
I
Ring
did
music's
not
dog
say
shit.
that. I don't know where.
No, not you. I'm
Okay,
talking. I'm referring to Box.
All right, okay.
I'm talking to Box.
Okay.
And I was like, hold on, how much of the music in Elden Ring do you really remember? I remember Melania's thing because I just keep on being told she's to play to Mikola and she knows no defeat. I can't really
when it
name
came
a
to
song.
when it came to when we was talking about the music, I remember saying that I do enjoy the music in Elden Ring, but it's nowhere near when I actually started listening more to the themes in Dark Souls. Unfortunately, for a few fights, I wasn't able to listen to it for very long.
Yep. You definitely got to hear Orange and Smoke though.
Fucking right.
I'm happy that at
I
least one
I
or two
heard
of them gave
Artorias
you
the
a proper
Manus a lot
challenge.
as well.
I am happy
But-
that some of them gave you a challenge. But with the music as well, me personally, I actually first of all, let's just get it out of the way so we don't have to come back to it. Bloodborne is going to be at the top, I think, for the OST, in my opinion.
Damn.
But it was very, very hard to ignore in Bloodborne because it was so integral to each fight. Like, it really, really fit in.
Second phases, baby.
That doesn't take away anything from Dark Souls, because I think the music is very good. However, I will say, when I'm in the fights for Dark Souls, I was kind of and not purposefully, but I kind of clouded out the music just automatically because like you're just so focused on the fight and trying to like not fucking die. But yeah, for me, like I kind of had to go back through. It was like the first time that I had a look at the fights. It was like, okay, yeah, no, I'm focusing on the fight itself. And then when you go back through again, it's like, oh, okay, the music's actually slaps.
Capra Demon fight.
Yeah. Whereas Bloodborne, in a way, doesn't kind of give you that option. Bloodborne's like, no, you're gonna fucking listen to the theme.
And then Gascoigne for you though was like, oh, you
That
missed
theme
the
is amazing. I worked out to that again the other day, man. That fucking it's so good.
Anyways, it's back on Dark Souls, and the fact that you started liking the music more. Also, Box, I remember you saying like, "Man, NPCs like I'm like I don't care." Like you didn't seem to care about the NPCs or what they brought to the table. Because I'm gonna be honest, Elden Ring's NPCs, they're cool, but they're just sort of there. They're not really like
Yeah.
they don't feel integral. And then you were like at first like, "Man, fuck this Sith dog," and then you actually like understood that you actually were understanding like where Sif was coming from, like trying to protect his master. Artorias, like man, fuck Artorias, fuck Sif, and then you actually like started caring a little bit more about what's going on. And I remember you still to this day asking me about Manus, or he's like after you killed Manus, where Dusk was there, he's like, and I told him just kill her. He was like, and I was like, and you said, "Man, I feel bad for killing her," but like earlier in the game, you were like, I don't care.
Even throughout the game, I was just killing him after you said, don't kill him.
I find that weird
And that was
as
the
well,
first
Box.
NPC.
I find it really weird because I know you're doing it in the sense of like having fun or whatever, but because for me, like I remember one of the things you said about the Souls games is that your favorite part about the Souls games was the lore.
Oh, yeah.
So in turn, I found it quite contradictory that you killed everything to do with the lore, like like you didn't get to know any of the character. Now, okay, it's a bit hypocritical coming from me because again, I blast through these games. For me personally, when I'm going through, and you saw this in Dark Souls 3, Leifon and Solo. My kind of way for going through the Souls games, or at least I've noticed since since Sekiro and Bloodborne a little bit, is I like to like speed through so that I know it's gone through because I have like this thing in the back of my head. It's like, okay, if I don't get this done, it's gonna be sitting with me for ages, and I can't focus on anything. So like,
Lady Maria.
yeah, the fuck. But I'm coming back to that bitch, bro. But yeah. So my first time through a Souls game, I'm focusing on getting through it, and then when I go through it again, I'm gonna focus through on quest lines and stuff like that because you can finish the game without focusing too hard on those quest lines, but I feel like if you try, well, for me, I feel like if I focus on it for the first time through, I'm gonna have that paranoia of like, okay, I'm not making any progress, and I am risking losing a bunch of souls to go do this random thing for this NPC.
I mean, you got to see a little bit with my Sigurd or Katarina for Dark Souls 3, where Sigurd just fucking carried me through the entire game, for the entire match between Yorm and me. Yeah.
It's a very
Onion
cool,
Bro is life, man.
I still don't even know what the fuck happened to him in that run.
He disappeared. So where he's supposed to go, he goes to Ash Lake, and he falls into a pit with a bunch of tentacle-looking creatures, and that's where he dies. Unless you save him. He dies of poison.
Oh wait, shit. Am I thinking of Dark Souls 3 or am I thinking of Dark Souls 1? I think I'm thinking of Dark Souls 3. Yeah, where because like
all I know is I found his daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Yeah.
And then both of them just ended up fucking off. Oh no, actually no. I think I killed the daughter.
The daughter is found in Ash Lake, the two places that you two used to go to, even though I tried to send you both there multiple occasions. But the problem is you had to go to the poison swamp, and I understand why y'all didn't want to go back there. Because the closest bonfire is all the way at Quelags.
Someone said, I don't know if it was you that said it, Leifon, but you said that I was close to it when I visited some tree, or it might have been someone else.
It was me. I'd made sure to tell you that, hey, you're close to it. You were passing some slug creatures.
Okay.
Who have a very weird animation.
I'm gonna toss you a few like off the bat questions, Box. You don't have to go too in depth in them. It's just kind of like a pick your brain a little bit.
I don't know what happened to the Queen. I was not involved in her murder. I mean, death.
I love that shirt. I still have it here, the one from Schlatt. But yeah, so when it comes to Dark Souls 1, what I was kind of prodding at a little bit was, and again, I'm not saying any critique of the game is not to say the game is bad, it's just looking at it from a critical standpoint. What would you say was the thing that turned you away the most on your first playthrough?
Oh, that first little stream.
Yeah.
It was just trying to get used to it, to be honest.
How did you feel
Because
about finding your way around?
Well, compared to, I'm going to compare it again to Elden Ring, but compared to Elden Ring, I don't know how it goes on throughout the series, but Dark Souls was quite linear.
Yeah.
Like, it did have like somewhat of a set path,
Mhm.
and you knew like a lot of parts you knew you would have to go there again because it had a lot of shortcuts. Like the main hub for all the shortcuts ended up being Firelink.
And that connectivity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So finding my way around wasn't too bad. There was some areas where I was like, right, where the fuck do I go here? But like once I like actually like focused a bit and looked around, I found it quite simple.
Okay. Interesting. What boss, if any, would you say was the most troubling to deal with?
Manus or Artorias for me.
Do you want to give like what you think the reason was in terms of like both the fights? Like what was kind of giving you the most trouble in terms of like their movesets maybe, or how they were moving? Like was
Jumping spin attack.
Artorias just fucking rocks my shit constantly. Leifon probably got the most pleasure out of that fight, considering he watched me like just fucking saw through some of the bosses and I just keep getting my shit rocked by these
Oh
two.
yeah. Oh yeah. It was very like, yes, please. I love this.
But I did enjoy. Well, I didn't enjoy that night, but I did enjoy that fight, despite like the mood I was in. I was more pissed off with the fact of my fucking like stream constantly cutting out that night.
I can relate so much in the terms of like not hating the fight, but hating it that night. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm just glad that I did end up recording them.
Mhm.
Like, I did manage to actually get them in the end.
Too bad we
So-
can't see shades.
Yeah. Well,
But in terms of Manus was a fucker for me. Because I felt like I got like the hang of like his moveset. And then he'll just hit a fucking 10-punch combo on me and I'm like, yes, sound. I was prepared for that.
I'm gonna say the two I most enjoyed watching you fight was Ornstein and Smo and Bed of Chaos. They were my two guilty pleasures for me personally.
You know
I
what?
honestly missed
Bed
it.
of Chaos, I actually enjoyed that fight. In terms
Wow.
of content, looking back on it, it was so funny.
It is pretty good content, like in retrospect. Yeah, same for myself. Like, I mean, it's so funny when you look at my death count and the fucking gravity counters just keep going up and like doubles every time it cuts to the next clip. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Like,
died to
actually,
gravity 60 to. Oh wait, no, why is it 72?
experiencing it, the Bed of Chaos was. It was a cool fight, but I wouldn't put it anywhere near like one of the better fights in the game.
Oh no, it's horrible.
I'll agree
It's a
with
cool
Shane
idea.
there. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a cool idea if the game was more leaned on platforming, which is not.
Yeah.
And platforming on the Souls, it never has been a good combination.
Trying to get to Ash Lake is a good example.
I don't think I've. The more you
Uh,
say that, Life, I don't think I even visited Ash Lake on my playthrough. Did I?
No, you didn't. Even though I was like, "Hey, Shane, let's go back to Quelaag and let's go across the swamp." You said no. Fuck that.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
The only thing you all noticed about Ash Lake, like all of you, like I don't even need to like watch the stream to search for it, but when you guys were in the Tomb of the Giants, like before Nito,
Mhm.
You have a super open area with like some gray sky. You
okay.
see the Ash Lake from here.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Box, just a quick point on Tomb of the Giants, by the way. What do you think of those skeleton eyes in the distance? Through the darkness, there's those two
When I
blue
first seen them, that
pupils.
was freaky as fuck.
Fucking terrifying, right?
What'd you think of the dogs?
You know
I'm
what?
I'm
Because
very
I
curious to hear
didn't
what the fuck
witness.
you thought about the dogs actually, because like, are you talking about the big like skeleton dogs? they
Skeleton
fought?
ones.
Yeah,
Yep.
I want to fucking hear this.
Thankfully, when I finally like properly explored Tomb of the Giants and went to it, I had the spell cast light, so I could see.
Mm-hmm.
When I first seen that dog, when it like the little bit of light just covered its face, it was looking at me. I shit myself. I will confidently say I could have built a house by the bricks that was produced by my arsehole.
Yeah, it's funny.
And then, it fucking belly dropped me and one hit
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
What a fucking cunt!
I must have missed that. Because like I flipped through a little bit during Tomb of the Giants, but when I watched you I got to a part where you were fighting the dog and you swung 3 times, and with your first swing you killed the dog, with the second you killed the Black Knight behind the dog, and then with the third swing you killed the third dog or the second dog. And I was like, bro, each of those enemies took me a solid 10 minutes. Like,
You know, it was a little bit when you follow that path down,
yeah, I know
you
the one
meet
you're
the
on about.
3 dogs.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're fucking talking
I
about.
killed the first 2.
Right past
I was
Patches.
just about to kill that. I was about to kill that last one. He belly flopped me. I had to go all the way down that path again.
What about the bone wheel?
Oh,
Fuck
yeah, they
them
were.
guys, but
The
they're also really
worst
cool.
enemies. I
But you
hate
know
them.
what? I hate them, but they're so fucking good. Like every time they hit me, I just thought of the Tokyo Drift theme song.
For me, it was all the Euro beats.
Yes, yes, yes. I gotta step on
Exactly.
the gas. Or run into the 90s.
Yeah, or like just when they stop rolling around, they do some sort of drift and
Deja
like
vu.
yeah, exactly. There was deja vu running in my brain, and I was like, holy.
Is that the one
But
that goes deja vu? I don't
yeah,
get
yeah.
it. Yeah.
This place before higher on the street. Uh, like, are people like actually? Since I didn't really watch the Dark Souls 1 playthrough, you guys went through the pain, like since you seem to
Yes.
know who was yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
so
I.
you saw all these skellies like in the well.
Oh no, he did not go that way. He skipped
Oh,
all of that.
Did I?
He
oh,
skipped all of that. I'm not shitting you. He went from the dragon, and he did the silly attack where the dragon's legs jump up, or
yeah.
just appear above him, and he just dropped down.
Wait, which
Oh,
part we
He
talking
skipped
about?
the entire. He skipped the entire area. You remember that dragon that breathes?
The painting, curse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dragon. So if you were to attack it after you kill the dragon, you go over to his legs and you do a jumping attack. The legs just, whoop, they just appear above you. They just, it allows you to go underneath the
Oh yeah,
legs
that.
and you
Yeah,
drop
yeah.
down. Yeah, he skipped the entire area.
You told me to.
I did.
There's no fighting, just yeah, I did. But still, should have skipped it. Fuck you.
The fuck you taking my advice for, pleb?
I know. Box. Don't recommend that. I mean, you can do it again for your second playthrough, but I'm gonna recommend you go to the actual area yourself. If you decide to play Dark Souls 1 again, just go to the entire area and realize just how much AIDS it is. Because you saw a little bit with the toxic boys that just explode when they
Oh
appeared.
yeah.
Because that was supposed to be the tutorial area, if I remember correctly.
yeah, exactly. That was the first area that has been programmed. And they were like using it at like a test run.
And Crossbreed Priscilla was supposed to be your
Your
fire mage.
character, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so
they wanted
weird.
to do a completely different game, and they wanted like to make the character as some sort of preset, like like when you play The Witcher, you have Geralt.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They wanted you to control Priscilla, and then they were like, eh.
That's
They
so weird
didn't
that they
really
went
do it.
from like, a character like say Sekiro or something, like an actual name-based like created character, to just a character creation tool instead. Like that's such a turnabout.
Yeah,
Someone who
actually,
you can
the story of your
literally
main
call like
character
copper
was
balls.
completely the main story of your character was completely different. Like it was actually more like close to was I mean Priscilla's story. Like you were off breed with dragons.
You see
Like
the Scaleless and Guinevere.
yeah.
I want to make a point because
Whew.
I don't want to talk about it yet, but I want to come back to it because I don't think I actually really. I tried to expand a little bit on it in the last episode when I came to like philosophy, but
Mhm.
really I want to kind of delve into like the storytelling aspect. So I'm just gonna write it into podcast chat so I don't forget about it. But not right now though. I want to make a quick few
Okay, okay.
points before we get around to that. So, uh, moving on then from Box's series, I just want to know real quick, Box Solo, have you guys seen the Dark Souls 1 series yet? The edited series?
Yours? No.
Mm-hmm. Box?
I've seen bits of it.
Okay, you haven't seen. Okay. Um. Okay.
I
all right.
have.
Thank you, Leifon. I just
You're
want to
welcome.
point out, right now, again, fully transparent here. I appreciate my playthrough, Leifon. You did a great job guiding me through, but at the
My
same
liver
time,
says otherwise.
my brain has been short-circuiting the entire time through Box's playthrough, because I'd watch what was happening. I was like, Leifon's gonna have some words to say about this. Oh, he's using an OP wet. He's using a skip. Ha! Oh, wait until Leifon gets in chat. And it's just like, good job, bud. It's like, wait, what? Hold on.
So
He
me and
made the
Leifon
game-
spoke about this a while ago.
Uh-huh.
I think
Yep.
Leifon, you remember.
Go for it.
It
See,
was
what did I say?
it was the time when you joined me when I was fighting Ornstein and Smo,
Mm-hmm.
and you said afterwards, like once the stream ended, we were just like chilling out talking, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
And you
Like, 'cause I went
just
to bed
said
early
like,
that night. Yeah.
yeah. So this was after the stream, so no one would have. It was
Yeah,
only
yeah.
between me and Leifon.
Oh.
I know, yeah, it was a very saucy conversation. But we were just talking about it, and Leifon was like, he just wanted to make sure I was still enjoying the game,
Mm-hmm. He didn't give a
which I
fuck if I
was
was
completely
enjoying the
enjoying
game. Leifon,
So-
you were like, I don't
No,
know how
so-
drunk you were on Ornstein and Smo, bro, but I assure you, whatever
I
about every
remember-
other night, that Ornstein and Smo night, you had no fucking attention on my enjoyment of the game that night.
No, I was like, I'm keeping the fuck out of you.
I don't know.
But not, and,
If you boys get around to the Anal Londo video, you will understand. Leifon, you are usually a joy to be with that night. I'm sorry.
no,
That was fucking
I was
painful.
gatekeeping you
I had-
hard.
I
I
had
saw
Ornstein
that.
and Smo to deal with, and then I had this motherfucker in the back. You know when you're angry and you just want to complain? You may know in your own head that you're wrong, but you just want to bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
And every time I'd say something, Leifon would just be there like, what do you want? Well, what do you want? You know?
What do you want from
what
me?
the fuck-
I told you where to go. Like,
Yeah.
so I will also want to add on to what you said, Box, which was, and I think I even mentioned in the chat. I want you to have fun, but also realizing that you also have a, and I'm going to bring it up one more time. You had a weapon, so in a way,
weapon,
it's all, yeah, you had an OP weapon. So I'm also like, I have to treat you different. I have to
Yeah.
treat you, and
Yeah,
Shane
that's
got
what
the taste of
I
it.
was getting.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to before Shane mentioned about the Anal Londo when he was fighting him and you gatekeeping the fuck out of him. When me and Leifon was talking that night, he was saying, yeah, because you've got, even though you are enjoying the game and it was a weapon that you wanted to use, like, complete props to you for sticking to it. But I've had to treat you differently. Like, he wasn't saying it in a bad way.
Yeah.
He was just saying it in a way of, I've treated you differently while like helping you than I did to Shane. Because even though Shane was using the Drake sword, he then went back and was doing it with a proper weapon, and was experiencing like how difficult it was.
I
But
think-
because I was adamant on only using scythes,
I don't know why.
Leifon was like, I'm not really gonna shit on you as much as I did Shane.
And I
But-
did. And when Shane had the Drake sword, I treated Shane differently. When he
Yeah.
had it, I was like, oh yeah,
and
look,
that's what
hey.
you said.
But like, can we
So-
just confirm something, because this keeps coming up, and like, I don't want another Rivers of Blood situation. So I just want to like, I want to get this clear. That Drake sword was used for like a quarter of a stream. Like,
I know, but that's why and everyone that watches the stream, they'll know before I gave him the great sword how I before I showed him how to get it, and after how I got him, and then when he had it and when he didn't have it, on how much I would change around him, especially when he went back through Blighttown, on how much I was just treating him. I was treating him differently.
like
I will always treat you different.
Yeah, because like with that series, like I won't even lie, like, I was a little pissed off that night, to be honest. But with watching it, it was like I'd watch Leifon with Box, and it was like Box would defeat Ornstein Small or whatever. It was like, good job, nice, you did it, or like, after every temp, it's like, you were close, and then I'm just like turning over to me. And
Yeah, no.
it was just like,
Best way I can describe
Shane,
it was
Shane, you died. You died, Shane. Did you see that? Yeah.
Shane, did you know that when you die in the game, you die for real?
Like, wow, you're not gonna fully understand this until you watch the video. I'm telling you. You gotta like
If you
leave it.
No, I just thought of a fucking like Sword Art Online reference there.
Yeah.
And I
If
just
you
thought,
lose the fight, you lose your soul.
Okay, now
People die when they're killed.
Yeah, Shane, the
But-
best way to describe it was because you went through it with a proper weapon and I didn't. Leifon treated me like the retarded little brother and he's just got a force.
I was a condescending prick to you without being a condescending prick.
Yeah. He was like, oh, good job, bud. Oh, now let's go here. I remember he sent me to where you first meet Seif,
yeah,
Scaleless.
Oh yeah.
When I ended that stream that night, I sent him a message and I still remember what I said to him. I'm pretty sure it was along the lines of, fuck you, Leifon. I'm fucking stuck. Because
Yep.
I could not figure out where the fuck I was meant to go.
Yeah. That was my redemption arc. And I
Yeah.
still find it absolutely hilarious how I've got 2 people to get cursed. Let's go.
Box. I'm surprised you even fell for that, to be honest. Like I know you you went through with it on your own. Like, it wasn't like me where you just fell into the hole. The fact he went into the fucking hole, by the way, and he just fucking killed them all. All right, like I thought if he fell into the fucking hole where all the basilisks were, he'd still get cursed. But no, they just fucking didn't breathe. I don't know if they were going for a fucking challenge or some shit, but they just had to like.
Hey, Leifon, they was playing a pacifist run. I wasn't. But still. No, I didn't. The reason I fell for it was I didn't know curse was a thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was death blight.
Oh yeah, it's a very specific death blight, and I really wish they would have brought it back in Dark. I really wish they would have brought it back in Elden Ring. Really wish they would have. It would have been so hilarious.
I don't know how well it would have fit in Elden Ring, to be honest. Like,
It would have fit great, perfectly even, especially when death blight exploits were happening. It would have been perfect.
Yeah, but it's like it's such a large map, like to go back to. I suppose you have the graces and everything, but yeah, I don't know. All right. So
To
anyway,
be fair, the punishment from the curse is the exact same kind of punishment from Dark Souls 2 that I really don't like in the Dark Souls series.
yeah, one shot, baby. I hope you have a humanity. 'Cause
No,
if you
it's not
don't,
even
go
that.
Fuck yourself.
It's more about the fact that if you get killed by these
Basilisk.
proc debility, I forgot how it's called,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
it punishes you even further, like
It
for your
punishes
whole
you when you
playthrough.
die. It
Yeah,
punishes you when you
from it,
die.
of
It punishes
course.
you when you get cursed. It punishes.
Yeah.
Oh, this game was punishing.
But
It
I mean,
punishes
for
you when you
example,
die
for
instead of
Dark
the you die messages. Fuck you, pussy.
like I remember people literally like it was their first run in Dark Souls. Like they had the curse and they didn't know how to remove it, so they literally re-rolled, like did another character.
Or they just quit the game entirely.
Yeah, exactly. Because having half of your health bar, it just feels too painful. Like
Especially
it's
when
too punishing.
when almost all the bosses roll catch you.
That's
Yeah.
so weird though, because like I mean, again, like I mean, it's something to come from someone who's literally just led to where the purging stones are. But like the point where you get cursed in the game, or at least at the first point, like with the
You have
basilisks in the
access to that.
sewers,
Yeah.
it's very like arguably it's very early game. Like
Yep.
so like it's not even like that big of a massive backtrack or anything, in my opinion.
No, but you also along the way
Yeah,
you
but-
already will have picked up at
you'd
least
already
one
got
purging
them.
stone.
Like, yeah, you would have had to go. Well, you could have. I don't know if you had to, but you could have gone to the top bell tower first, and you would have had access immediately if you talked to him. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
before you go into the
I mean-
sewers, you have two like places where you could have access to a purging stone.
Yeah.
You have
There's
Oswald
that
at the
one
top of the
behind thing.
gargoyles,
Mhm.
and then you have that bitch that's in the sewers that scams you.
Yeah.
Yep.
For $5,000.
It's crazy. Well, okay. So we'll move on a bit from Dark Souls 1 because we're actually.
I got one more thing to bring up.
Okay. Yeah.
The prize after killing Ornstein and Smoke.
The
It's-
treasure. Pray for chest.
Guinevere herself in all of her thickness.
Rivers of
Try
Cringe didn't
fingers,
appreciate us on
butthole.
that one.
I don't understand
was
that
it,
one.
Was
but
it Rivers of Cringe who told us to touch grass?
Yes, it was. But
I think
can we admit?
I think he even said that in my stream. To be honest,
That's
I think
what
he
I'm
was
saying,
there and he
yeah.
was like, "You guys need to touch grass."
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't there for my series. I'm talking about your one, yeah.
But
Oh.
yeah, no. I just was like, is that not a great reward after the hell that you just went through with Ornstein and Smoke?
'Cause you'll even see it in the video box in solo. Like after if you watch it, the Einerlando one at the end of it, like as soon as I defeat Ornstein and Smo, I'm so defeated. Like I'm just Leifon's like, now Shane, I'm gonna need you to go up that elevator over there, and I'm like, Leifon, please. I can't die. Please don't send me
Shane,
into a trap.
just-
Like I am on the
Shane,
verge of tears.
Shane, trust me on this one. Trust me.
Uh,
Don't sit at the bonfire. Just keep going. But I gotta touch the bonfire. Don't sit at the bonfire. Keep going.
You have binoculars, right? Yes. Pull them out. So
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with me. Because when I went through it, and beat him, I was really happy, but so fucking drained. Leifon just said, "Yeah, just keep going through it as you would, mate." I was like, "All right, no problem." Went through it, got to the bonfire, said, "Right, open that door." Opened it. I was like, "Do you have binoculars?" I was a happy boy that night. I even throughout,
bro,
like whenever I had to go back to fucking Einerlando, I just would go back to there, pull out the binoculars, and go on my way as to what I was gonna do.
boys, Bloodborne fellas will understand this, right? I had not a single doubt in my mind, Leifon. After that Ornstein and Smo, when you told me to go up that elevator, in my head, before I even knew about this kind of situation, I was picturing a like living failures to Lady Maria situation. Like I thought you were just fucking sending me neck deep into shit. Like immediately after that, I was like,
What can I say?
if,
I like
if I
sexy
see white
women. What
mist,
can I
I'm
say?
gonna fucking lose it, dude.
And you have to do the whole run again.
I think that very off topic, I know, but that lady, not lady, Sister
Maria.
Freed.
Oh yeah.
I think that's like the one time I actually fell for like third phase. I'm like, all right, guys, very good. Why is she?
I
standing up?
remember I joined just as the credits were rolling for when you beat it. You hadn't done the DLC yet, and I said, "Oh, have you beat the bitch with her feet out?" And he was like, "What?" Leifon was a bit confused and I said, "Oh, yeah, she's got 3 phases." And Leifon was like, "Shut the fuck up, he hasn't done that yet."
And you were like, oh shit.
So speaking.
So
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. It's hard on
No,
Discord.
I was gonna say. So I just thought, you know what? I'm gonna wait for it. Only
Yeah,
for you
everybody-
have streamed it while I was in work, so I couldn't fucking see it.
Damn.
And then I got you. Then I got you in the third phase, and then me and Solo were just like fourth phase. You're like, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
I wasn't
'Cause
even ready
it-
to
it
believe
phased-
anything at that point.
It faked you out because of the fact that you got a Titanite slab,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it waited a couple seconds, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? And you see a health bar come back. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I did it to you again for Madeir, and you were like, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
Well, I mean, after after Sister Frida, I was like, anything's possible at this point. Like, I mean, but yeah, no, like, cause I got to third phase the first time.
Yeah.
So like,
That
I
was
thought,
really impressive,
thank you.
actually.
I couldn't fucking do it again. But like, I mean, it's crazy with me. Like, my first attempt on a boss is usually the best until like 2 hours later when I actually beat them. Because I could not, like, because I fought her for like what, an hour and a half maybe, I think, that night.
Yep,
Um,
roughly.
And then I came back the next day, and in my head, I was like, okay, I was getting through phase 1 and 2 pretty easily, so if I just gonna practice third phase a little bit, I might have this before work. So I started like 3 hours before work. I was minutes away from having to get changed, and I was still struggling with the father in phase 2. And I was like, why are you so aggro now? Like, you just sat over there like a good little fucking spastic while I smacked your ass in Call of Duty for like the fucking hour last night. But now you're up and going. Like, what is this shit?
He's ready to get us. He has a slow start.
Pokemon references. Hell yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that was a good fight. So, speaking of Dark Souls 3, I don't know how much you're going to get at this box. I'm going to try and like not put any lore kind of spoilers or any. Well, I mean, you might be up to, I don't know. Just
Havel is back in the game.
yes.
I know that.
Batman came back. Dun, 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 dun.
Evel is Gwyn's friend.
Yes, he is.
Was.
No, he is. In his heart,
Yeah.
he will always be alive.
hmm.
I won't lie. I think I'm sorry for going back to Dark Souls, but when I went in the fucking New Game Plus without realizing it, I ran back. I can't remember if I was still streaming or if I. No, I think I was off stream at this point. I went back and killed Sif again, just so I could see the limping thing because I didn't do it on Leifon, and
then
it
you
broke my
saw
heart
it.
even more.
It is. It's so
Yep.
sad,
Yeah.
right?
I won't lie. I think I cried a little that night. But I went back and rocked Havel's shit. I was so fucking glad. That fucker suffered.
Can't stop the rock, baby.
Now, I'm going to make a point about Dark Souls 3, and I know we've had this conversation already, but I don't think we've had it on the podcast, so I just want to get that out there because I played Dark Souls
Easiest
3.
game in the Dark Souls
The
series.
bosses?
The bosses, yes. I know empirical data suggests that it's closer than I originally thought between Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1, but I still stick to how I felt during my first playthrough through it. I cannot imagine how in the ever-loving fuck people decided this game was the one for them at the start. You have minion and fake out bosses back to fucking back at the start of the game, bro. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Or at least the route I took. It's because, like, again, as we saw between Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3, I can't remember the exact numbers. There's no point in recounting the whole way through them. But they were a lot closer than I thought. But it's not necessarily the amount in the games. It's the fact that it was, like...
Stacked at the beginning.
Yeah, stacked at the beginning. Because it's not even like... Well, okay, when you look at Crystal Sage... In concept, and Deacons of the Deep as well. In concept, not
Deacons
too
of the Deep
hard,
is easy.
right? Yeah, it's not actually that hard, but it was just the thought of like, I just want to fight one dude, like that's all I want to do.
I think I joined one of your Dark Souls streams for Dark Souls 3.
Oh yeah,
I think it was like one of the first ones I was able to catch, and I can't quite remember where you was,
might
but
be the Abyss Watchers maybe or something. I don't know.
it was when I joined and I said, "Oh, how you find the game?" You just went, "To be honest, Box, not very fucking well. It's just bitch after bitch, but that's the same fight. But guess what? There's another bitch right there with him." And then
that must
I
have been
don't know
Crystal Sage.
how-
That sounds like Crystal Sage.
I don't know how it went on afterwards because I think I was only able to catch like a few minutes of one of the other streams,
Yeah.
apart from like the end credits one that I was able to catch.
Very nice
Which
music.
that one
Yes,
completely fucking threw me. It come up Shane Torres stream and I was like, oh, he's just started the stream. I'll go watch it. I'm just watching the fucking credits.
The only reason that happens because I thought I was going for the ending I was looking for, but I didn't actually complete the quest line I needed for that. So we had like a whole confusion, and the only way for me to like
Oh
cut out of
yeah.
that was for me to
Henri.
yeah, the only way for me to cut out of that box was to exit the game, and if you do that on PlayStation, it cuts the stream. So that's why. Um,
I remember your scream when it happened. I was like,
Like, what?
"What
What do
the?"
you mean?
I was like,
and I
bro,
was like so confused. I was like, "What? What does he want?"
He wanted the Henri ending. He wants that
Yeah.
one.
No, because for me, when he said, "Oh, I want
the dark
the
ending, or yeah,
Age
Age
of
of Darkness,
Dark,"
because that it
like I
made
mean the
sense to
dark
me.
ending, I heard like the Age of Dark.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, he wants to do like the quote unquote framed ending
Mm.
from Dark Souls 1, where he goes
Mhm.
out the room and it becomes dark. So I was
Yeah.
like,
He wants the edgelord one.
See, that was the thing, but like I saw the cutscene, not the whole thing, but like I saw like the exit with like all the hollows bowing, and
Yeah,
um,
but it
like
starts from the fire. That's
yeah,
the
but
thing.
like the whole everything was going dark, so I just kind of put it together in my head. I was like, oh, that must be the Age of Darkness ending. But yeah, anyway, I'll get that eventually. I've done 2 of the endings now, so it's fine.
I will
Yeah.
ask Shane, with when I joined that time, how you wasn't feeling like too happy on the game.
Yeah.
After you played the full game, what was your actual thoughts on it?
I
Minus
enjoyed
the
New Game
DLC.
Plus a lot. It only lasted 5 hours or something, but Box, you can run through that game insanely quickly on New Game Plus. Like if you go for a strength build specifically, I think. But
I mean,
if you just have a good build
all
in
the Dark
general, I think.
Souls,
Yeah.
all the Souls except 2.
I'm afraid I
Yeah.
can't use a strength. I'm gonna have to go Dex and Scythe again.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, I had a very very rocky relationship with Dark Souls 3. Like I've come around to it now. Obviously, in fact, I think the lore of Dark Souls 3 is really really cool. Like I find myself whenever I'm looking for like Dark Souls lore videos nowadays, I'm kind of looking for more of Dark Souls 3 ones than Dark Souls 1. Uh, not saying I don't like Dark Souls 1 any more than Dark Souls 3, like, but just in terms of the lore, because like the third one, I feel like really wraps stuff up a lot.
Yeah,
Especially
that's
with the
the whole
DLC.
point.
Yeah.
It-
Also, just tossing it out there, that Gale fight at the end, I love that.
Mhm.
It was great.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So that's why I
it's
like.
Artorias, but from Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
Literally, they were like, we inspired ourselves from the manga Berserk. How do we end the series? Oh, let's put guts again.
Again. Because people were pissed off about the first DLC.
Santa Claus Artorias.
People were pissed off about the first DLC.
Rightly so, though. To be fair, like when I got through that DLC, I was like, "Is that seriously it?" Like,
Yeah, that's it.
I thought,
Oh,
I
the
thought
first DLC was a disappointment,
bro.
bro.
Like I
But they
fought.
added an arena mode, which was
Yeah, I mean,
kind of, which
yeah,
is
It should have been there. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why they keep adding these through DLCs. Like after Dark Souls 1, they should have understood that people likes to be in arena to do PvP.
Yeah.
or
And
just
it's the
go.
same thing over and over. Like,
I don't know
look
what you're
how
talking about.
much look how much time it took for Elden Ring. Like,
Iron Fortress and Dark Souls 2 PvP is fun.
yeah, but again, like it's the same way as we say Dark Souls 3, we go to what is the name of this place? Just after Pontiff Suleiman.
Yeah, I know what
Royal
you're talking
Valley.
about.
Yeah, but it's
On the
before.
backside of Pontiff's boss
Yeah,
room.
Oh yeah,
I,
I know what you're talking
I forgot the name of this area, but like there's the 2 lizards when you go out of the room, and people are doing fight clubs here.
Really cool place to do it too. A lot of fun, especially for the host when they just collect embers
Yeah.
and souls.
about. Do not ever fucking mention Jean-Pierre Polnareff in this fucking call again. Fucking.
Fuck is happening? All I'm hearing here is white flags.
Look, let's just say I did not.
What are you saying like
Oh
right
yeah,
now?
Box isn't a JoJo fan. That's right. Forget.
I didn't like Pontiff.
I was here the whole time.
You were there the whole time. That was a long ass fucking. That was a long stream, just for him.
Yeah, I was trying so hard to be like, hey, you can do this, you can see this,
You
and,
see- you see
and
what I
you
mean
were
about-
getting pissed more and more, and I was like, what can I do for him?
You see what I mean, though? Like, I think Leifon's learned this by now, but Solo, you're only just seeing it. It's like, I'm very stubborn. Like, I will throw myself at a boss again and again and again.
You know,
know.
for my first soul, I actually did this. I went to Save the Great Wolf when I was level 25,
Mm.
roughly.
Poor soul.
Exactly. That was one of my first rage on a solo game. uh, I remember fighting Sif for an hour and a half. And when you think about it, like the fight isn't even hard. It's just he's swinging one or two times and then he backs up and
Yeah.
then sometimes he spins and that's all. But like back in the days, like I was but I'm doing everything perfectly, and then he does a swing, it's throw catch me, and it one shots me. And I was like raging hard, and I was still going there, and it was such a long run.
Oh yeah, it's a long run, and then you had Enter Londo later, which was even longer.
Yeah,
One thing I will say for Pontiff, right? Well, two
It
things.
looked like Disneyland.
Number one, that parry on the entrance to the fight is one of the most satisfying parries.
Satisfying fucking
Yeah.
things.
It's so fucking cool. Second, it was so satisfying on New Game Plus One to go in with a fucking strength build instead of a dex and slap his ass from here to Jupiter with a fucking with a heavy sword.
You know
That
what?
was
You saying that has just reminded me. The most satisfying thing I discovered on Dark Souls is thanks to Leifon when I first entered Blighttown. I can parry with my hand.
mm.
That shit was fucking beautiful.
I mean, in Dark Souls 3, you can actually turn around and still parry the person that's behind you.
yeah,
Can I still parry with my hand?
Yes.
Yes.
In Dark
Okay.
Souls, and Dark Souls 1, you can actually parry
with
friendly
your
phantoms.
toes.
You can parry friendly phantoms.
Oh.
And that's a thing in the remaster too. Remastered, please pay me $40.
the double repost in Dark Souls.
That was
Oh,
bullshit.
speaking of,
No.
Box got chain backstabbed. I was like,
I
you
remember that,
poor
yeah.
sap. You poor fuck. This is why I don't fucking do that horse shit. This is remastered. I'm paying $40 to get chain backstabbed again. I was like, man, where's Twop at now?
by the way,
Totally
Leifon,
understand that, but
he had the alternate dimension experience of the lava area invasion, where like, I don't think it's an NPC, it's an actual player, but like
No, yeah, it was an actual player.
Yeah.
I thought it was an NPC, so I was searching for him.
yeah.
It turned out to be an actual player.
So Leifon, remember when the NPC or sorry, when the invader came into like the lava area while we were trying to figure out Solaire?
yeah.
And I was saying, like, I kept seeing his health bar pop up every now and again. He'd lose like 20 HP here and 100 HP there. And at one point, the poor fucker, like, he's looking for me for a solid 10 minutes while I'm just sat there watching his health bar pop up and down. And he just gave up. He must have done, because he just started running through the lava. And I just see the damage start multiplying up to like 800. But in this universe, Leifon, Box was able to kill him.
Nice.
Yeah, I got fucking destroyed by him. But
Unlike Box couldn't.
what happened for me a little bit though, Leifon, is when I got attacked by that fella, I was still wearing the ring for the lava. I didn't notice because I switched out my Havel ring for the lava one. So
Mhm.
I went to roll away after he got his first hit on me, and I just ended up fat rolling it on my Havel armor. I ended up dying immediately.
The fat roll.
Yeah. What happened in my dimension? They finally made it over to me after I went in the lava, so they knew where I was.
Yeah.
They was on like the tree path that I needed to go to. They looked at me, drank the flask, ran at me, swung this big fuck off sword,
Was
and I
it
parried him and
Zweihander?
killed him. No, it was. Oh,
Was it
It
a
was
I
the-
want to
giant?
say
it was the
it's
Zweihander.
that big stone. Is it the Swihand? It looked like a big
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it
stone
was the
greatsword.
Zweihander. I remember you got invaded by somebody with the Zweihander before. I'm surprised nobody said it to you that like was my weapon.
Yeah, no, they
Nice.
instantly got parried and fucking killed.
I'm pretty sure it was there in the lava area.
I'm still pissed off that Shane just splatted fucking Andre of Astora with Zweihander.
It's so.
And I showed you the video of Andre of Astora, the blacksmith, fucking drop kicking Haviland to next year.
I still understand his strength. It was just funny to me in the moment because like we had such a build up box. I don't know how far you are in the Dark Souls series. I don't know what point you'd seen up to.
Just after Sith.
Just after Seth. Okay. So Leifon spent like a lot of the time telling me that about Andre and like his strength difference like with Havel and how he could kick Havel's ass and shit. And so
Zweihander said no.
at the very end of the game, I was like, "Fuck it, we'll hit Andre and see what happens." So I cook up
Splatted him.
a double-handed, heavy overhead smack with the Zweihander, and Andre just goes. He's just dead.
And you heard my disappointment. I was just like so sad.
Which
Because
I
everything
remember
just
you
went
telling
quiet.
me something.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me something the other day, Trey. I can't remember which it was, but you went to hit, like, you was told off Leifon to hit an NPC,
It's
and
hilarious.
you asked if you should hit it
Heavier life.
with a light attack or a heavy attack. He looked and you was double-handed, ready to heavy attack.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
I know that clip like off by heart. It goes like light or heavy? Fucking light. What are you doing, two-handed? What the fuck are you doing, two-handed?
You're going to kill him.
It's just like it was such raw emotion. Like you genuinely, it was such a mixture of like fear, panic, and anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, back to Dark Souls 3. My overall thoughts of it, right. I think the beginning of the game, I still like, even on like a New Game Plus kind of build, like, I mean, first of all, can we all agree? I think it's got the worst tutorial out of the lot. I don't think it.
Dark Souls 3?
Yeah, I don't think it trains you very well. Like, I mean, you're just
It
kind of.
has like one of the best tutorial bosses.
No,
I mean,
don't
for
mean,
the tutorial boss,
I mean,
I'll
like, the before
agree,
part,
but
yeah.
for
I don't mean the
the
actual
before
boss.
part,
I'm saying,
I
like, the actual.
actually
Yeah.
agree
Yeah.
with
The
Shane.
area, okay.
It's
Yeah.
pretty iffy. It's not straight.
No.
I mean, if you think about it like this, I mean, everything that you learn, you can then try everything that you learned in the early area that you one shot, and take it over to the Blue Crystal Demon and just test it out.
True,
He's
but
there to kick your ass.
True, but I
you
think
can
I feel like
actually-
it sets you up for like a false expectation sort of thing. It's like, oh, and just bang, 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 bang. Oh, this thing kills me.
Or kind of like an Elden Ring where you're just fighting everything and you see the tree sentinel and he just kills you.
Well, no, because Elden Ring gives you the cave, and you fight Soldier Godric first if you need.
The
Yeah, actually,
god-
I missed it.
Best
Like,
character
really?
in all of Elden Ring.
Rogue, Soldier of Godric can destroy all of us, okay?
Soldier of fucking goat Rick, more like.
I saw a mod called Rick the Soldier of God, which
I
actually changes his movesets.
I died to the Soldier of Godric because I tried to parry him with my crossbow or my bow.
Oh,
I
Bloodborne style.
This
I-
isn't Bloodborne, man. You can't just post that.
See,
No,
Box
I
hasn't
think I
even seen
told
my Elden Ring
Shane-
thing yet. Like, it's the
I
start of
think
it
I
is so
told-
cursed.
I think I told Shane about it. This is a while ago. I got one of my friends who's never played any FromSoft game whatsoever to play Elden Ring. I told him to just so he gets used to knowing how to hit things, go down to tutorial part. Unironically, while playing his best, he died to Soldier of Godric 7 times.
I mean, it's not for everyone. It can be very difficult for someone that doesn't know what they're doing.
That's true.
I mean, Solo, don't you have someone right now that's never held a controller their entire life that's actually playing Sekiro?
Yeah, I've been talking about it before, like the start of the podcast, and yeah, and I'll say she's struggling,
Is there?
but I mean,
Oh,
it's
sorry.
normal.
Oh, very true. I mean, like I went through a bunch of the Souls games before even going into Sekiro, and I still like. I mean, it's a hard game, but it's such a good game.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to starting it.
They don't have scythes in that one, so you'll be stuck with the katana.
I know, I'm forced with Katana on that one. God damn it.
It's such a good
Wait
game.
till I've somehow glitched the game files and you tune in and just hold a scythe.
I mean,
I don't think there's an
what?
enemy with a scythe in the game.
I'd love to see it like where it's not even animated, like it's
No.
just like a PNG,
D-
like dragging.
Yeah, that's
over.
what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, when I do record it and stream it, you'll just be a normal Katana on the stream, but when I put it in like a video series, I'm gonna have a PNG scythe track every movement of that Katana.
please leave the PNG like background on it. Like don't even take out the fucking...
Don't even make it transparent. Just full fucking white background, just covering the character.
Like have the stock image shit go across
Though,
it as well. Right?
Speaking of it, like I've been thinking about it because I'm like you guys maybe know that I'm really into arts, and of course, like sometimes I just wander around on different sites like Pixiv, ArtStation, whatever.
Right.
And there's actually someone who did a prosthetic scythe for Sekiro, and the concept I found actually really cool. So I'm gonna just throw it.
You're gonna throw
Put it in the podcast chat.
There it is.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that's sick as fuck.
Oh damn. Okay.
Oh,
I
that's
see some
really
Gehrman.
fucking awesome.
I see some Gehrman side stuff. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and like the guy even
Bro,
like
people like this are so
it
talented, man.
they
Oh,
gave
I wish.
passives and stuff like gameplay wise how he could act.
Oh, what the fuck does this say?
I wish
That's
that was
sick
in the
as
game.
fuck. Dangerous weapon that can be used for deflecting damage and swift attacks, which can bypass enemy defense. Roboto!
You could mod that though.
There are people who modded it, and I don't remember if I showed like one of the moves from the mod, but there's the modder of LMTSR who actually created a whirlwind slash that deflects attacks around you.
Did I hear Emerald
Right, this
Splash?
is so off topic. I'm sorry for this.
Yeah, I'm
But
sorry.
I'm just looking at Discord, and it just says Leifon's been playing Google Chrome for an hour.
It's quite a good game. I don't know what your problem is.
So that allows me to, if I want to like have buddies to like watch Amazon movies with, I can automatically have it set up that way. Same with Crunchyroll.
Right.
To go through Dark Souls 3 again, I'm just trying to stick with Dark Souls 3 for a little bit.
Yeah, so Dark Souls 1.
So anyways, Dark Souls 2 is better than Dark Souls 3.
I don't really know if I've answered some of the stuff that like you guys may have thought of before going into Dark Souls 3, because I know like you had thoughts, and like I know I've said a lot of stuff while playing Dark Souls 3 that like some of it I might take back or go more lenient on. I know I've been quite open about the fact that I was very harsh in Dark Souls 3 going right into it, but I feel like again, like there was some of it that wasn't necessary for sure, but I think when you try and hold that title of the best Souls game, and you know,
it's gonna cause some critics.
Exactly, like you can't. That's like asking to be fucking, you know, like world champion at something, and it's like, okay, you better rise to the plate then.
So, can I speak on this one a little bit?
Yeah, go for it, and I'll go after.
Okay, and then
so I'm gonna add. So for people, so it goes Dark Souls 1. Sorry, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin, Bloodborne, and Dark Souls 3. For people that don't have that ability to get a PlayStation, they miss Bloodborne. So for people that fucking hated Dark Souls 2, but love Dark Souls 1, or want to have something that isn't fucking Dark Souls 2, they absolutely love Dark Souls 3 and how much it changes the formula and actually improves it,
Yeah.
tries to improve something that didn't
That's
need to be improved.
exactly what I
It's like,
wanted
oh,
to
look,
talk
is that?
about.
It's Dark Souls 3. Oh, you see that reference to Dark Souls 1? Oh, that's the reference to Dark Souls 1. Look at that. Oh, look,
There's
it's
a reference
Quaylana.
of Dark Souls too.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty valid. Yeah, that's pretty valid. That's fair.
It,
I never considered that, to be fair.
yeah, for me, it actually is biased a little bit toward the fact that you did Elden Ring before, because exactly when you're doing the games like chronologically, like you're literally leaving the time, you see how much gameplay wise it improved, and you're like, oh hell, like some people were kind of like pushed back toward the fact that it wasn't as, let's say, strategic as Dark Souls 1, because they sacrificed this aspect of the game for more fast-paced dynamic fights,
Mm-hmm.
of course. And yeah, sure, like when you come back from Elden Ring, who already has the fast pace, it has tons of weapon arts, tons of magic, tons of everything. Yeah, sure, like retrospectively you're like, I mean, I've seen this already.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the exact same way. Like if people played, and my experience probably for Demon Souls pretty soon. If people play the other Souls before Demon Souls, they will arrive on Demon Souls and be like, "Wait, it's exactly like this." Yeah, because they took it from Demon Souls.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, you got to see a little bit from the Blade of from Melania when you're like, oh wait, and you saw Lady Maria, and you're like, wait, oh, that's the attack from her. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
and they were
Oh, wait.
correcting it. And then, oh wait, this actually was from Sekiro too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
water flow dance is literally the cloud passage from from Sekiro.
I feel like the monk in Sekiro is also quite similar to Pontiff.
The monk.
Mm-hmm. Some of his
The
like
true
ro-
monk,
Oh,
or
the true monk, like some
yeah,
of his
because
roll catching moves when he
yeah,
swings out.
I will
so
ask Shane. In Dark Souls 3, they have, is it Firelink Shrine? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it still
Yep.
called the Firelink
Yep.
Shrine?
Yeah.
So that's like your hub area in that game, isn't it?
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So what was your opinions on like that whole area?
That's actually the good question. I saw a video kind of talking about this today actually. The area itself, considering the fact I didn't interact with the NPCs too much, I don't know what opinions I can give. The secrets in terms of like the tower, there's like a tower to the right hand side and some stuff on the roof that I don't know if I really fully investigated, like the bird's nest and the path up to it. The design of it is really nice. Like I love the ruined kind of look to it. It's kind of got a similar vibe to like a lot of the architecture in Ireland, actually, which is kind of what I like about Elden Ring's areas and their architecture because it's quite similar. It's it works well for the lore, but I don't know if I would put it up there. Like if I was to rate the ones that we have,
So the
I
reason I was asking that is
okay.
because at some point you're going to be doing Dark Souls 2, if I'm right in saying.
Yes, I know a lot of people think that one is really, really good.
There's an area in there, and I think I'm saying it right by calling it Majula.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Majula, exactly.
That place, from what I've
Beautiful.
seen, is so beautiful.
It's
Okay.
breathtaking.
Like, I
I've heard
cannot
similar
wait
things. Yeah, I'm
to
looking
play
forward
it
to
just to experience Majula like for myself.
Mhm.
But that place is breathtaking.
Yeah, there's a little monument where you can see how many times people died.
Really?
Wait, what? Seriously?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I am looking forward to seeing that. I heard things about that too. However, for the time being, and this might even be a bit of a surprise to Leifon a little bit, and Solo, I'd actually rate. I'd put Dark Souls 3, and again, they're not bad, but I
Mhm.
would say from worst to best in the games I've played so far. I'm not going to count. Actually, no, fuck it, I am. Demon Souls is going to the fucking bottom. Fuck that stairway. That's going to the fucking bottom. Second
Which stairway?
last,
Which one?
just any of them, just any,
Just
just the
any
building.
place where there's stairs.
Yeah, like
Fuck
literally,
them.
the balls they have to make me climb 3-4 fucking flights of stairs to find a fucking orphan is ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, so I put that at the bottom. But besides that, I'd actually put at second last. I put the dilapidated temple.
Yeah, it's pretty simple and
It
there's
is, isn't
nothing
it?
to it.
Yeah, like I like the design; it's nice and all, but like you really don't you don't have to spend much time there, and you very rarely have to actually interact with it. I feel like the only thing I really went back there for, apart from like giving tools to the sculptor,
Yeah, to the sculptor.
yeah, the only other reason I really went there was to actually interact with the training fella, who is a nice
Mhm.
that is a nice add-on, I will say, and I
Yeah.
think this is completely irrelevant, but the feature that they added on much later for refighting the bosses from,
Oh,
I think that is a
yes.
brilliant idea, and I wish it was
Yeah,
in
but
more
it's
Souls
not
games.
even from Dilapidated Temple. You can do it
I
from
know, yeah, you
whenever
can.
the idol.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a bit irrelevant, but I just want to point that out.
The only cool thing about the Dilapidated Temple is the fact that, like, of course, it's one of the. Do we say eavesdrop point? I forgot, like, when you're spying on people.
Yeah.
It's one of them that leads to my favorite ending, and it revolves around the sculptor and Emma.
Oh, for Demon Hatred.
No, not at all. Like
Oh.
to fight the father, like from the past,
Oh
for the
yes, yes,
purification
yes.
ending.
Yeah, yeah. I gotcha.
And actually, this, like, if you come like just before killing Divine Dragon
Mhm.
and spy on the sculptor, you can actually have different interaction with the old lady next to the Demon of Hatred area, where, like, she speaks about the lore, and Sekiro has really interesting interaction with the Demon of Hatred himself.
Neat.
I really like it. But yeah, compared to the other, like, HUD
Mhm.
of any other Souls, it's dull.
Yeah.
I kind of want to say
Yeah.
there's nothing to it.
I agree. And it's kind of sad to say because I really do like Sekiro. But again, that's not putting anything against any of these games. So, Demon Souls, Sekiro. I think I'd put Dark Souls 3 after that. Again, nothing really wrong with it, but to me, it's all right. The area is cool and it looks nice when like the all the skulls are on the thrones, but
Hmm.
that's not really there to the end. Um, then after that, I would probably I'm trying to remember if I miss any. I would say I'd say Bloodborne's one because of the aesthetic. It looks really cool. You have access to the catacombs and stuff.
Hmm.
Just the whole mist aesthetic is really nice, but I think it's unavoidable. But I don't think it looks as great graphically. That's the only reason I'm downing it a little bit, and that's just a reality. I feel like it's just budget wise, it's not really its fault. So I put it at third, and then second I'd put the Round Table Hold. I think it just looks really cool. I like the aesthetic. I like how many like different rooms and like I just kind of like how expanded it is.
Yeah, I'm not as hyped about this hub, actually.
That's fair. Number one, I think, is Firelink Shrine from Dark Souls One, though.
Yeah,
I
for
really
me
love
it's
that.
undoubtedly this place, like, just for the reason it solely looks the only safe haven from the game.
True, true. I just like how it like really feels like it links to everywhere. Like to me
Yeah, it
personally.
truly does link to
Yeah.
everywhere because no matter where you go, it somehow leads you back there.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I love about it. It's brilliant map design. Leifon, you're no, you haven't pitched here. You got any thoughts on those?
The doll from Bloodborne is not evil.
He's trying to trigger me. The doll is evil, and you know it.
She keeps you prisoner with her waifu ways.
She turns you into.
Turns
Wait.
me to a tentacle.
She turns you to a
Wait, I
simp.
could be a
Even to a
tentacle.
doll. Even a doll. Should it please
Oh,
you?
hold on. She turns you into a tentacle.
New kink involved.
Bloodborne is
Airman.
now still number 1. No one asked why.
So,
Don't worry about
Thank
it.
boys, anything else on Dark Souls 3 you wanna pop in here or ask or kind of go over? Because this is kind
Not
of
on Dark Souls 3, but I don't know if Leifon and Solo know this, but Shane's learning to speak Alvanoric.
I am.
Oh, really?
He's recently bought, I think only 2 of them have arrived so far, am I right?
Yeah. 2 of them were pre-orders
Um,
and 2 of them were shipped.
I have one thing
One's-
about Dark Souls 3, actually.
Oh,
So.
go on, I'll let you go
No.
first.
Well, box in the
Finish since you
box
were
in,
into it.
box in the middle. So we'll just let box finish and then Solo here.
Yeah.
So, 2 books have arrived. One's the Souls Art book, and one's the You Died book. Which, both from the picture that Shane sent. Shane, I don't know if you want to send like a picture into the podcast chat of them.
I do
If you
have
still
a
got it.
phone. Yeah. I can do that. For anyone on
But
audio.
just from like the covers,
Or
they look
video.
really fucking good.
They do, man. Have you seen the other 2?
I've not yet, no. I
Okay.
know one of them was supposed to be like artwork of what people thought was going to be of Elden Ring. Is that the Souls art book?
That is, that's the Souls art. I think it's actually more than just that. I think because I flipped through it a little bit when I got it, and I think there's like some Sekiro, like I saw a bit of like Sekiro kind of design in there, so it might be overall. But I think the main idea was to be Sekiro or to be.
That's
Elden
what I was going to ask about it. So I was assuming that you would have had a flick through them.
Mhm.
So far from you having like a flick through, what are your thoughts on them?
They're gorgeous. They're really gorgeous, and they all have like. It's not just a picture book or something like that. Like it's not like it's not just solely like a fan art. So, it's not just solely a fan art kind of thing.
Fuck off. Right, we're ending the podcast on that. Fuck you.
I can't
Go on,
find the
so-
picture I've took of like the 2 books, so I've just sent a picture of like all 4 of them from the website. So this Souls art one here, anyone on video watching, this is basically it gives you a picture that's made from the community or kind of fan art that was kind of thought up to be what would be represented in Elden Ring before the game came out, and you can kind of compare it to what it is now versus what people expected. But this includes like characters that were kind of created from people's imaginations and just things that were kind of construed from the lore. So for every piece that's there's actually like a short story or like a little piece on it, and not just like a couple of sentences. Like it's a good paragraph or 2 paragraphs, talking about the area and like how it would look, or like how it would like fit into the Souls lore. It's like, oh yeah, this is like, say, area X because it has this design, and because it has this design, it would be linked to this, that kind of thing.
So the You Died book.
Yeah.
I don't know much of it. From the pictures they just sent there, it says Dark Souls Companion.
Yes.
Is it like a guide book to Dark Souls, or is it something completely different?
So it's actually both. It's a guide, but it goes over so much of the lore and the quest lines and stuff that I feel like it can be pretty much considered to be like a book on the lore itself.
So it's basically Leifon as a book.
Pretty much, actually, yeah.
Or
And
does
you
it
can
not
see
talk
that-
about fucking hands?
Pretty much. These 2 down here, all of them I can't wait to read, but these are going to be books that I'm going to be going over and over and over again, though. But this one here has caught my interest the most. It's the Abyssal Archive. And that is, like, as you can see, like, it's 2 or 3 books there. But that is actually supposed to be the entirety of, like, the Dark Souls 1 to 3 lore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, when you send them in, that one caught my eye. I was like, Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if that was going to be other lore, so I'm glad you covered that.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously the Blood Echoes will be Bloodborne, so I'm interested to read up on that as well. I love the design of the red on that. It's very crimson.
I'm gonna bring it back to Dark Souls 3 real quick. So you said you had something on Dark Souls 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say that hands down, Dark Souls 3 Ringe City is the best DLC.
Yeah, I think the Ring City is really cool, especially again from a lore perspective. Like I can't say how much I'm loving the lore of the series. Like I'm really getting into it, and that'll kind of bring me to a point.
And you're right. That's exactly like the difference between people who, for me, missed the point of Dark Souls and the people who didn't.
Mm-hmm. I think.
So can we also throw in the fact that there's just a random dragon armor just sitting out in the middle of freaking water, and just sitting out there randomly, menacingly, that Shane missed.
Look, I was too busy dealing with Twitch mods. Right.
Hey, you can't steal that joke. That was my joke.
Yeah, that was a really good joke, man. Did I ever kill that bitch? I did. Yeah, I got the fucking.
Yeah.
I got the bitch.
Yeah.
Eventually. So
God.
we're gonna make a quick pit stop to a point that I actually added in while we were talking, and then I'll finish up on the final bit that I want to talk about. So, just a quick look at scenery. Now, Box, I know you're only gonna.
That's a face and a half.
I know you're gonna have only 2 points of reference here, but just feel free to like pitch in on whatever. What?
Box's picture.
That's just no context, just dropped a picture into the podcast chat.
Okay. All right.
Look at the podcast
I
chat.
see it. I see her winking. Can she really
No, it's
wink
the
when she only
smile. It's the
gets
smile.
yeah.
She doesn't have a left eye.
That's what I was saying. I was like, can she really blink or wink? She'd be
No, just the smile
closing
that
her
does
eye.
it for me.
That's the face she pulls when you just let her die instead of do the fucking path of chaos.
Oh, I love this. It's beautiful.
Okay, so as you were saying, Shane, about
yeah.
the architecture.
So yeah, the scenery more so. What areas would you guys say, and this can be across the whole Souls series, what ones like are the ones where you wish you could like see it for the first time again, or like you walked around the corner and it was just like whoa.
Oh my god, there's so many,
There
bro.
are, yeah. I just want to hear the first few that come to the top of your head. So
I know
don't think too hard about it.
Fountainhead Palace.
Absolutely, yep. That every fucking time that is the first thing that comes to my head. Leifon?
Well,
I'm thinking.
I said it before because I wish I experienced it firsthand, like playing it, but obviously because I've not played the game yet. Majula for one of them.
The which?
Majula
Dark
from
Souls 2.
Oh right, yes.
yeah.
Wait
But
till you play through Sekiro, man. There's some gorgeous
the
sceneries.
two from two things from Elden Ring. When you first see like that through that crack of Lindell,
Mm-hmm.
and when you like look over and you see all of Leona Lakes
Yeah.
Leonia.
I
Yeah,
agree with
I
that
was
crack in
thinking
Lindell,
about
by the
this
way.
one.
It's very overlooked.
I will say though, one that like I remember mentioning it last time, like briefly, because we all completely forgot about it. But the place I'd want to witness first time again was like when you first go see Placidusax, and it's just fucking like a floating organ in the sky.
Yeah, but Placidusax is more like of a boss arena.
Yeah,
But like the
still,
whole
like,
transition is
witnessing that
still
first time.
great.
We can't forget about the lift down to the Eternal Cities either.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
So,
the Eternal
I think
Cities are great.
So I think of two areas for me. Castle Canehurst,
Okay, interesting.
Oh,
first
all
time,
right.
and the area, the Iron Keep DLC. When you go walking across the chains, that area
yeah,
is
that's true.
beautiful. That they reuse in Elden Ring, by the way.
Now, opposite of scenery, which one, if there is one, and I'm hoping you do have an answer. I'd say you do.
I
but
do.
before you go into replaying a Souls game, right? What is the one area that makes you go, do I have to?
One,
Black-
or can I say two?
Black
Go
Town.
two if you have to.
Shrine of
Black Town.
Amana
Yeah.
and fucking and Frigid Outskirts from Dark Souls 2.
They're both from Dark Souls 2, and I agree.
Oh no.
You
Fuck
know
those
what?
pony-
I'm slowly like wanting to not play Dark Souls 2 now.
Shrine of
It's
Amana
in-
is just a bullet hell, and fucking Frigid Outskirts is My Little Pony fucking horse shits.
See,
To
Box,
back up on Box, the Blighttown thing, for me, it was really even
it's
worse.
less White Town and more the Poison Lake at the bottom.
Yeah, but for me, it was terrible because of the fact of the low
FPS.
optimization FPS
It was.
thing.
Oh my
It
god, you
was
were going there like 10.
disgusting.
You were going through there at 10 to 15 FPS, man, if you were lucky.
Jesus.
Yeah, and like people might think, the PC part, it should have been more stable. No, it was worse.
Dude, they were using oh, do you want to talk about the keyboard bindings? How you, in order for you to
No,
roll, you had to press Shift J and then use your freaking your mouse and putting whatever direction you.
I don't want to talk about the binding. Nobody plays keyboard mouse. That's all we know.
So for me, I haven't played through Dark Souls 2, so I've got to give. Personally, I don't actually mind Blighttown too much. Like again, it's definitely not the most pleasant area to go through, especially for your like first time seeing it. But
You were gonna say the depths, aren't you?
no, I'm not even thinking Dark Souls 1. There's two areas that I'm
Really?
gonna say. Caelid. I fucking hate going through Caelid.
Really?
Oh, you mean
You
Brazil?
know what? You know
Those
what?
stupid fucking birds peck my fucking ass every fucking time.
God, that's. I will say this about Kayla, and Solo can probably vouch for me. It is a scene that just looks like it's straight out of Berserk. It looks beautiful in that regard, but it's absolutely terrifying.
Okay. And what Box? Were you gonna say something? I'm trying not to.
I was
lose
gonna
track
say
of my thoughts.
Caitlin's overhated, man.
Nah,
It's
bro.
fucking amazing.
Nah, bro. I fucking hate Caelid. But then secondly, I fucking hate. I'm gonna say like the wrong name for it, but when I say it, you're gonna completely understand what I mean. The gun fortress in Sekiro.
What?
I fucking hate it. And not only do I hate it, I hate the fact that they had the fucking cojones to put a fucking mini boss in between the fucking towers.
Oh, the snake eye.
Oh, what about
That
the drop
bitch.
where if you just running? What about the part where if you make it through all that and there's just a hole in the bridge, and if you don't notice it, you just fall through.
Yeah, I know that one.
I mean, if you fall through, you can actually grapple hook, so it's.
That's
not that
actually,
terrible.
I've never made it across the bridge. I always fall. Then I grapple like from there. That's how I got there.
I will
That's
say,
why you
though-
had so many spiritual emblem. You're never using your prosthetic.
No, I was. It's just I bought 700 or 800 because Jack at the beginning was like, "Oh, spirit emblems are harder to get a hang of, like because they go up in price later in the game. So get as many as you can." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I bought 800, and he's like, "No, not that fucking many."
I will say, I only mentioned Blighttown for Dark Souls, but for Elden Ring, you said Caelid, which is kind of valid to be honest, but Consecrated Snowfield.
Okay,
You can't
that's
say
that's
fuck
that's,
off.
that's an interesting point. Okay, right.
So
Which
Oh,
I
wait,
seen
actually,
of,
yeah.
like-
Okay, I can see what you. Sorry, I was thinking the other side. I was thinking of Mount Top of the.
Oh,
Giants.
you was thinking Mountain Giants. No,
Yeah.
I've seen a very good video. I can't remember who it was from, but they basically modded the game and turned Elden Ring into a horror game.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
So,
say they took out that area.
No, everything was like every enemy, like every movable character in the game was
Melania.
been randomized, so you could walk through,
Oh, okay.
and where there'd be a fucking deer or a rabbit would be a stell.
Have you seen where
But
every
they
enemy
made-
is Melania?
Oh yeah, but they made it worse. So you know how you can't see fuck all in Consecrated Snowfield, really.
Yeah.
I made it
They made
darker.
it so that was everywhere
Oh,
on the game. Not only that, but they also took off the fact you could where graces were, so you couldn't see where they were on the map. So they completely blacked out the map as well.
I'm gonna add a special mention here. I don't know if anyone else has this, but I fucking hate doing that parkour bit down through Volcano Manor, like through like the clockwork kind of section, like the
Mm.
anyone know? Yeah, that I don't enjoy that at all. Like, because if you fuck up once, you're going all the way back to the top again. It's like,
So Elden Ring for me is very forgettable.
damn.
For me,
Okay,
I
to each
I
their own.
can only like remember like so many places, and I'm just like it's not as like memorable as say Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3,
That's fair.
Bloodborne, Sekiro.
It's probably more
I just
memorable for us because it's our first one. Like,
but Demon Souls even I remember a lot of those areas and put came in there later.
Mhm.
So
that's
it's not
fair.
like Bloodborne where I know where everything is at.
Now.
And-
oh, sorry. Was there more?
Nope.
Nope.
It's rather small, but in Elden Ring, I would say Lake of Rot.
Yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
know what you mean.
Like when I saw it, I was like,
You talking about the one
it,
in Caelid or
Yeah.
Caelid or the one in like Halictree before Millennia?
Halleck Tree. One you had to run through in order to get to Estel.
Yeah.
Estel?
yeah, I'm talking about this one, and I'm like, I swear to God, when I saw it, I was like, it's literally here just to be here. Like,
And then there's also a Halleck Tree mini boss in the fucking rot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? This is like not fair. Why is this guy here? And you got all
oh
these
yeah,
fucking pin
Drake
people in
Skin
here.
Soldier or something.
That confused the fuck out of me, Leifon, because I don't know whether like it was a patch or something, but I was able to roll through that my first time through, and then after that, like the second time I went through Elden Ring, I couldn't roll through or run through the Lake of Rot.
I will say though, with like the Lake of Rot, I feel like in Dark Souls and like the Poison Lake, I'd say is worse than the Lake of Rot in Elden Ring for the sole fact in Elden Ring you have access to fucking Bloodhound Step.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, like even when you were saying like the poison down at the bottom of Blighttown, I don't feel like it makes a massive difference. Like once you're poisoned, it's like okay, like whatever.
yeah.
I
It's
mean more for
poison.
like the
There is
movement, really.
Scarlet Rot.
Yeah, like I mean, compared to like Toxin or Scarlet Rot or something like that, I could understand that, but poison doesn't
The
really bother me.
the actual poison itself isn't the problem. It's more the fact of the slow moving in
Yeah,
like
that's
such
fair.
a hostile area.
The sludge, yeah, that's fair. With the rocks being thrown at you, I could understand.
Yeah.
You can actually get a ring to actually negate all of that.
Good to know.
Of course you can. And of course you didn't tell me about it.
Because of the pain in
Fuck
the
you.
ass to get.
Fair. Okay. Last thing on scenery before we go into our final point. What is an area in any Souls game? And I want you to really, really try to just make it one, right?
All right.
One area that you feel out of all the Souls games is the most to you. It doesn't have to be like necessarily community wise, just you personally, you find it offensive, right? That people
Offensive?
Yeah, offensive that like people hate it so much. So
Oh,
that
Oh.
people hate that you really like.
Shrine of Amana. I'm just kidding.
he hates it, but he loves it. You know,
I
like
fucking-
Stockholm syndrome. I want to be molested here. An
You know
area
what?
that
I don't know what people's opinions are on it, but I really enjoyed Sen's Fortress.
I don't know if that's a controversial opinion. I think that's
yeah,
Kind of a
it's
normal one.
pretty decent.
But as for
in
a
my
more
opinion.
controversial, Caelid is the best area in Elden Ring.
okay. Go fuck yourself.
Damn. At least he's like holding his ground on that one.
I mean,
But
yeah,
you-
you know,
you
you
can
can
have
die
that.
on your Scarlet Rot Hill, whatever. But
I'm fucking right. Well,
for me personally,
Let's see.
I think I really, really, really like Mountaintop of the Giants, and I know like it may not be hated in terms of like fighting the enemies or whatnot, but like it
I
seems
feel
to
like the
be
more hate for Mountaintop of the Giants is it compared to the rest of the game, it
Empty.
seems like the most barren. It's
That's
empty.
exactly that's the critique I was gonna address. It's like I addressed in the last one as well, but I'll just make a quick point on it. It's like everyone calls it empty, and yeah, fair enough, it is a lot more empty compared to the rest of the game. But like, I consider it like a direct comparison to say the likes of like Shadow of the Colossus, where like the whole thing is empty, apart from the bosses that you have to fight. But that's the idea. It's like
I feel like without the aesthetic of it being empty,
Yeah,
it
Like,
wouldn't
but
be as
yeah, it's
right.
like it's the exact same as Consecrated Snowfield and that kind of thing. It's like if it was meant to be lived in, there would be people there constantly. But like to me, it gives you the idea of like, okay, you're not supposed to be here.
yeah, but the thing with like Shadow of the Colossus is just pretty much like the whole game long that you feel this.
Yeah, but I
It's
don't.
barren. It's dead. It's a forbidden land.
Yeah, but I don't see why that can't necessarily be put into a
Translate.
specific area rather than the whole game itself. If anything, I feel like it's a more ballsy idea to put it into a whole game than one area itself. So I don't see why one can be accepted and not the other. Again, it's just an opinion.
What?
Yeah,
Elden Ring.
I think I get it, but it's really like the
With
fact
all
that since it's a late game area, it just really felt like they didn't have time to make it like actually full of secrets or whatever, and it's just there,
No,
and
instead
it
they put all
leads
their time
to
in
a
the
better
dungeons.
area.
I mean, to
Yeah,
be fair, people
you
spend
know
so
the
little time up there. There may still could be secrets up there. I mean, everyone just kind of wants to get out of that area, so maybe there could still be stuff there.
I mean, I've been wandering for half fucking day in the blizzard searching for stuff.
Oh
Being like,
God.
yeah, I was like, is there really something? Because I was curious. And no, it was just there. And I was like, yeah, I should blast through the area again
That's fair.
and never come back.
And again, to each their own. That's perfectly fine. I just feel like I think I see the games through a different standpoint than you guys are, or like maybe some of you. Box, you seem to kind of get my point a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like because we've had such similar experiences, we kind of understand each other's point, whereas
Yeah.
Solo and Leifan are a lot more. I can say that they're a lot more veteran towards the game.
Like I'm looking at it from like a from like a story perspective, whereas I feel like you guys are looking at it from a gameplay perspective, which is fair. It's a game, but I don't know. I don't mind it having an empty area like that, especially
Yeah,
when so much of the game is already.
so
yeah, but
sh-
like it's the exact. I think I talked about it like in the previous podcast, but like Assassin's Creed Origin having like a giant desert with nothing in it, like isn't very interesting. Like you see a big desert, but you're never going in it. So what's the point of having the desert? Just make it a scenery, and that's all.
True, but I feel like
or
that
just
again. In my opinion about Elden Ring is like the fact that it's like this big long journey, and I feel like if you were to go from say
set piece to set piece to set piece to set piece to set
yeah
piece.
exactly like you're gonna have quiet periods between everything if you were to go on some kind of journey like that. And again, it's kind of like as I said when I originally did the first
Killer
podcast.
episode in anime.
As I said when I was originally watching, I was watching Lord of the Rings at the same time. And in the book and in the movies, there's quite a stretch there where it's just kind of traveling and traveling. And I kind of had that outlook on it when I was going through Elden Ring. I had a very similar outlook between Elden Ring and Lord of the Rings. It was kind of a fact that, like, okay, this is just one area to get to so I can move on to the next encounter. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't,
I
you know.
I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's just not the same media. You can have the same rules for different medias, or like all the adaptation of video games in anime, in movies would be fucking amazing if it was that simple.
Mhm.
And that's why for me, like the gameplay perspective has to be interesting.
That's fair. Again, everyone's gonna have a different perspective on it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I mean that's the whole point of the podcast is like showing our
So in terms of if we're going based
our
off of
opinion.
if we're just going solely off of looks and aesthetics, Shrine of Amana looks absolutely stunning. Gameplay wise, I would never want to go back there. Not even on another Soul Level 1 run. Ever. Never in my life do I ever want to do that again.
I can't
To
wait
be
for
fair,
Dark
I'm
Souls 2.
thinking, but I don't feel like I have a guilty pleasure like this of an aria people hate and that I love.
Yeah, same. That's what I'm like.
I'm
I'm like-
thinking, but yeah, maybe the closest will be Kaylee because actually I like the aria. Like Elden Ring really is
Let's
a
go.
game in a standpoint like
It is
of
definitely a game.
scenery is just like perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you guys can see how much I can like talk down the game, saying that it didn't innovate as much as people seems to think.
Yeah.
But on these aspects, there's except for the fact that there was the blizzard cutting your view out of the area and
Dark
the
Souls
lake
2
of
did it first.
yeah, they did it first. And the lake of fraud where I was like I mean, the color scheme and stuff is interesting, but like other than that, no, thank you. Like, I really adored my journey through the lands between.
Mhm.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, Leifan talked about it. Like, on top of that, when the author of Berserk, Kentaro Miura, died, it was the moment Elden Ring was here. So when I saw Kaylee, I was like, oh,
This
that's
is one big homage.
yeah. I mean, that wasn't even for the homage thing because the game was already programmed and stuff, but it it hit different
That's cool.
on the moment,
And
and
like,
that's why
will.
like I can't think of any aria that is literally like this that I might like think of it differently than many other people because like as you seem to notice like the gameplay aspect is really important for me and in general people are screaming on an aria because the gameplay in it is annoying.
yeah. Again, like it's gonna come down to personality. I feel like because certain people are gonna, they're gonna strive towards different things. Like when you look for a game, you're gonna look for different things than maybe I would. Um, there'll be some overlap, of course. Like
Mm.
we can both agree that the games are good, but we may think
Sorry.
for different
What was
reasons.
Me breathing.
that?
I'm thinking. I'm like, what an area that I would like.
then
Fine.
then I'm going to ask, does people hate Tomb of the Giant?
Tomb of the Giant.
I don't want to go back there, but I think the area is cool. I like the
Yeah,
concept.
If it's dark, if it's
that will
dark.
be yeah, Dark Soul.
I feel like they could have done a
It's
little bit of a better job leading you in the dark than they did, but they still did an all right job, I think.
I mean, Patches was there. He threw down some pebbles for you.
He did. He did. He also kicked me off a fucking
He,
cliff.
he also threw you down.
Yeah.
He's just a little. It's just Patches. He's just a little shit. Especially in Dark Souls 3. He's just a little shit. He does a little trolling here.
Bro, I watched a Prepare to Cry for Patches, and I can't believe that shit actually made me shed a tear for the cunt.
Yeah, like seriously, like there's a lot of like. That's why people like love Patches. Like
Patches the
that's why he's
Unbreakable.
in almost. There's only one game in the entire Soul series that he's not in.
We agreed on that. Wait, which one?
Sekiro.
Nope.
We
Nope,
agreed
as
on
in
this.
Sekiro.
Yep.
No, I
He's
don't
there.
agree. I've never agreed on this.
Nope.
The internet
There's a
agrees,
guy
therefore
that's
it's
literally
correct.
wearing patches.
Yep.
He's wearing an eye patch, I'm pretty sure.
The
He's a
internet
Yeah,
prick.
literally
He's
it's
says it's
called.
him.
patches.
What do you mean he's a prick?
He's a little shit. I love him.
He
No,
he
I
he,
mean,
he, he
patches is a prick.
yeah, but I mean the one from Sekiro, like
Oh, I don't know. I've not played
Where
it.
is he in
yeah,
Sekiro?
like the guy on Sekiro is literally, if you help me gathering a little bit of money, I'll give you like useful intel, and on top of it, like just help me through my quest of getting rich. And the guy is just there. He's actually kind,
It's not Patches though.
and he's not patched. Like, I mean, people can say whatever, then this is my controversial thing. It's not Patches, and you guys have to understand, it's not him. If Patches was Japanese, people would have noticed in the first Souls.
Lies. Absolute
Yeah.
heresy.
You
doesn't
leave
even sound like him
you
in
leave
English.
Patches Senpai out of this.
It's quite fitting for me. I don't know how what the orientation is on your guys' screens, but for me, Box and me are on one side and Leifon and Solo are on the other, and I find it quite poetic.
Yeah,
For
that's
me,
what it's for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see. It is for me too. I just see I'm right above,
Hell yeah.
and because of course I'm
I
American,
will-
I'm supposed to be above everyone else. But
Yeah, from my screen, it's the Brit and the American above everyone, which fitting, to be honest.
Very-
Okay, and you guys are going down.
oh,
It's just you and me, Solo.
I
God damn it!
happening.
God damn it! No.
Oh.
I gotta take
No.
my own medicine. No, I gotta take away your mob perm soon.
how you doing? You want to play this game?
We're all still in the same situation.
I'm the only one who has.
Wait, hang on. God damn it. Somebody about to get a whooping. I swear.
all right. Back to
All right.
back to the stream.
move?
Back to it. I
Oh,
do
no.
have a
Back to the po-
question. So
Okay, quickly, yeah.
we've all played Elden Ring at least once,
Yes.
Yes.
right?
Yep.
I want to know, like,
What
boil
level
it
is-
down to only one each. But what's one weapon everyone really loves and one weapon that you all hate
Rivers of
in
Blood.
that game?
Also, Rivers of Blood.
Is that both?
He's both on that one.
It might sound weird, but I love Raden's bow.
You know what? I like that one.
Great swords.
They fun?
Best weapon. A
Right.
heap of raw iron.
My least hated weapon, well, the weapon I hate the most, sorry, is the Rivers of Blood. Can you guys guess what weapon is my favourite?
Rivers of blood.
It's Moonveil.
It's not the Moonveil, it's not Rivers of Blood.
It might be a scythe.
Is it
Is
claws?
it-
It's not a scythe.
What? How dare you?
What is it?
It's
How
the
dare.
geyser wheel.
Oh.
The pizza cutter. I fucking love that thing. I shit on Melania with that thing.
No, it should be the finger.
Yeah.
You know what? I've played the game a few times, right? Done like different runs. I've still never got the finger.
It is at the bottom of a
I'll
lava
give you the
area.
finger.
In my first run, I got the finger.
Isn't it it'll pass a lava area where a chariot's like running on going on lava? Isn't
To
that
be
where that
fair,
is?
I don't remember.
All right, boys. Last thing I want to discuss, and this
Yep.
is going to kind of be it then for Souls topics and stuff for the podcast for a while. So I appreciate you guys coming on for it, but we're going to end off with this. I want to
We're gonna end off on politics, boys.
Let's go round 2, Electric Boogaloo edition.
I want to talk about the storytelling.
All right.
Bloodborne has the best storytelling.
I haven't gotten around to doing the video that I want to do, talking about like my experience playing through Dark Souls and like Elden Ring and watching Lord of the Rings at the same time. But when I originally went through it without actually looking into the lore too much, I had this thing that I said, I'm going off by rote here, but I was like, you find yourself in a prison at the beginning of Dark Souls 1, like in an asylum. And to me, it was like in Elden Ring, to me, my interpretation of it is that it was kind of like not just one tarnished, but like a whole of like
Plethora.
a whole plethora going through and going through on like a journey, you know. Whereas in Dark Souls, to me, it was more of a like single man's redemption.
Yep.
And
Well,
looking through the no, please let me finish because I know I will lose my point and go off on a tangent. the more I've looked into it, the more I feel like it actually kind of backs me up on it. And it doesn't have to be necessarily right, which is what I really like about the Souls series. Now, obviously, there's some things that are like irrefutable, they're fact, but there's other things that are up to interpretation, which I really enjoy about the theorizing. And this is kind of like one of the first game series where I've actually gotten into the theorizing. I've always kind of like not looked down on it, but I've kind of tossed it aside, not really bothered with it. But in this,
Okay,
I've really
Matt
gotten with this, I've really gotten into it, and yeah, I feel like the more I look into it, the more it really strengthens my opinion that, like, at least for Dark Souls, it really is kind of like that ascension feeling of like going from the bottom tier to like being
Top
that
tier.
yeah, top tier, like that hero that you're supposed to be, or like in your eyes, you know, because
I mean,
depending on how you look at it, you know, linking the fire could be good or bad, but
look at the name of the one guy, the chosen, and the, like
true. Yeah,
chosen. What do you want? He's literally like Arthur.
yeah, very true. But again, as I say, like, I mean, that backs it up as well. Box, you gonna say something?
I was gonna say, like, in regards to that point where it's like a one man journey.
Mhm.
Is that first NPC that you meet? Do you know that fucker that ends up turning hollow?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah.
one of like with him like mentioning like obviously that prophecy? Would that not like insinuate that someone else has tried it and that's why it's
Well,
a
Oscar
prophecy?
was going to try to do it himself at one point. I'm pretty sure Solo can give me more backstory than what I can provide. But Oscar was going to try to do it himself, but he failed along the way. And Solaire was
Yeah.
going to try to do it. Sigurd was going to try to do it, and here
I
we are.
mean, they're kind of trying, but at the same time not. Like
Oh,
They've
that
kind of
they're
fucker
lost.
wandering.
succeeded.
Yeah, they've kind of
They're
lost their way in a sense.
Yeah, they're wandering around for like actually like some sort of secondary quest that are like their main quests. It kind of switches over because like I mean, you can understand that they come from faraway lands just to actually find something specific in this one.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel
Because
like that's why to me it links with Elden Ring because you get a lot of the tarnished in Elden Ring,
Yeah.
but a lot of them seem to be finding their own purpose, right? As well as trying to become an Elden Lord as well.
Hmm.
Whereas that's what I feel like with Solaire, he's trying to like find his son, but not like trying to find the son that he worships.
Like,
The Onion Bro, he's just doing his thing, to be honest.
But I think.
but
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, so.
but yeah, like to come back on Oscar, i- it's more uh, like someone who heard about the legends, and he's like knowing how the world is turning, and he's desperately searching for someone who will actually help. Like that's why, I mean, there's no explanation why you're the one receiving a key to go out or anything. It was kind of random,
Hmm.
and that's the whole thing. It's like I need to intentionally release undead that could ring the bells. And it all starts out of like supposition. I'm thinking words.
You're all right.
Superstition.
mhm.
Superstition.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, when it comes to like, as you were saying, like Solaire and I'm gonna say the wrong one. Sigurd, is that 3 or 1?
Oh, Squidward, yeah,
Sigurd.
yeah, the onion guy.
Squidward.
Sigurd is the one, right?
No,
Is it
Sigurd is 3.
Sigurd?
it's three.
3. Fuck. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. Onion bro.
It's Segmeyer.
Yeah. But like they've all kind of like lost their way in a sense. Like, not that they've, you know, gone bad or anything, but like they've kind of found a different kind of focus for what their purpose is.
Yeah.
Whereas like, and I know this is kind of going off a deeper end. I'm kind like I have a tendency to kind of try and mix in things or like put the circle shape into the square slot. You know what I mean? But with Dark Souls and the whole like don't go hollow movement and that kind of thing, I feel like it really stems from the fact that like you the chosen, you are the one with the determination to keep going. Like out of everybody else, you're the one who actually made it from point A to point B, and that really like there hasn't been a real journey. Even Elden Ring, I kind of cast that more as like uh, as I said, like a cooperation journey, you know. But with Dark Souls, I see it as like it really teaches you a lot of like stoicism, and it really teaches you a lot of like, okay, this challenge, there's no way around it. You're going straight through. This is your path, and unless you can overcome what's beating your ass, that's it. You're not
You're
moving
not going
forward.
forward like
Yeah,
from skipping stuff.
yeah, exactly. Whereas like Elden Ring kind of gives you, okay, well, if that's too hard, you can go over here. Dark Souls says no. So, uh, I really respect that, and I think when you again, unless you're really into games and stuff, and you attempt to take this seriously, it's going to sound cringe. But if you take those principles and you take those ideals and you put them into your everyday lives, it really does kind of fill you with that sense of like you can get over challenges. And I think that's one of the main things that's kind of contributed to that Don't Go Hollow movement and why it's been so successful. In the fact that like changing your mindset with such a simple little game can have such a positive effect in the outer world, so being, like with all these
Mm-hmm.
mental health issues, like it says something that there's so many videos of people thanking this game, you know like it's not just a one-off, it's so many people, you know
Yeah.
I just want to thank Bill Clinton,
God damn it,
our
I was really
rabbi.
trying to go somewhere with that, bro.
Yeah, no, when you say when you first mentioned it and you said, I know I seem to go off topic, I thought you were gonna link it somehow to politics, and I thought you were gonna just drop like, so that's why I'm really glad the IRA bombed Manchester back in the day.
Damn.
And just have like a complete shot at me because I'm from Manchester.
So if I move then more into the storytelling rather than the philosophy side, if you look at the a lot of people when there was the God of War / Souls debate, yeah.
And it's less of a debate, it's a one-sided competition.
Oh, really? It is.
Souls
Yeah.
is
Well,
better.
well,
God of War
not
is
even
dog
better.
shit.
Like whatever. If someone prefers God of War to Souls, I don't care. Fine, that's your opinion. But when it was
Ca-
just outright lying or like deluding yourself to say that Souls games don't have story, like
Bro.
it's
uh,
just like what are you
the
So,
talking about?
so
I'm
Solo, you have played the original God of Wars.
yes, I did.
So go ahead
And
Well,
and speak on this,
Solo.
my guy.
uh,
God
uh,
of War or Elden
I
Ring, not Elden Ring, or Souls.
I actually like I just wanted to say a little thing about this all controversy with the Games Awards, God of War stuff. This got me laughing cause when the original God of War, like from like the PS4, like the 2018 one,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
came out, and there was a Red Dead Redemption 2 next to it in the Game Awards, and Red Dead Redemption 2 was like winning a whole lot of stuff, like the best performance, the best graphics,
Yeah.
best nearly everything. And
Demon
then we
Slayer.
saw, and then we saw what?
Demon Slayer.
And then we see like God of War Game of the Year, and they were like, "Oh, see, God of War is outright better than Red Dead Redemption," and I was like, "Yeah, no, it's the situation reversed, guys, and now you're complaining." Because yeah, God of War won maybe more things than Elden Ring, but at the end of the day, like Elden Ring
Was a better
overall
game.
is
But
a
who's
better
got a game
is
of
a
the
better
year? Ha ha ha.
experience. So for the God of War, I don't know what people think about it, but I think the first, I mean, it's not a second trilogy, but you guys get me.
Yeah.
The first trilogy is outright better, in my opinion. Like in terms of how epic the journey feels, like the tragedy around like the fate of Kratos, all of that, like the fact that Kratos, when he does something, it actually like has a consequence on the whole world. You see even more this like with God of War 3, because it's the one where he starts to really rip and tear
Mhm.
through all the gods, and you're like, he he kills Poseidon, and then like there's just the oceans who starts to go crazy. It literally kills everybody on her. Uh, he he kills like oh, the names. I forgot names. The Greek mythology is not my favorite.
Atlas.
Help. No, like for the
Zeus?
sun. I
Oh,
mean, Zeus in the end, like he just turns the world into cataclysm.
he
But
kills Hercules at one point. He kills
yeah, but I mean,
Ares.
I know who you're
uh,
talking
what
about. Yeah, yeah.
um like I mean, he kills Hermes, like
Ensures the
to
fates.
to a point. It actually like triggers illness and everything like around the world for the little people who actually survived the first waves of cataclysm. um
They had a
and
rough
all of
week, man.
that, yeah, like all the trip, you're like, holy, like that was like building up so much. And i I mean, I stand to the point where I don't understand why they changed the gameplay that much, because it doesn't feel, I want to say, as satisfying, and like in terms of representation, it doesn't feel as epic either.
No, no, it definitely doesn't.
So, and it's funny how Kratos, literally takes on a god that literally holds up the earth or holds up the world, and then
Yeah.
he's just getting his shit kicked down by a guy who can't die. Or
Is it Elios, the guy with his
is it's like
char?
one of the,
Like,
it, maybe I think, but it's all, and then he's like, oh, I
y-
can't do that. I was like,
yeah,
what
it's
do you
him.
mean you can't? And
Alright.
then in the new stuff, he's like, he's barely like holding his own with his own fucking fists. And or even in the new freaking game that dropped, where his fucking axe goes through a dude, goes through him, and the guy gets up like it's nothing. Like, I don't care who you are, you're not getting up from that. They do actual like animations where like dude should be dead and he's not dying.
I'm gonna
There's
throw
no
my
Uh,
like
I'm gonna throw my
weight.
ring in the hat here. Oh wait.
A ring in the hat. Okay, whatever
It's, you
works.
can tell it's getting late. I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring here. I played God of War 3. I really really enjoyed it. It's a really great game. Again, it's not on par with Elden Ring or anything, but it's not the same game. And I think that's
no, it's
another.
not.
I think that's another thing that people were like, God of War 4 or five, no, five technically, yeah, whatever. God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It's not fucking. It shouldn't have really been beside Elden Ring, but uh, I did like 2018, but I completely understand the point you're making, Solo.
Mm-hmm.
I like the more mature aspect of it. I did like the storytelling, and I think it had a good vibe going for it. However, and I know this is gonna get fucking chopped to pieces, maybe even by somebody in this call, but I fucking hated Ragnarok. It felt like a massive waste of my time. I didn't even buy
Uh,
the fucking game.
I'll. I mean, I can talk about it.
If I can
So
just say why before
yeah,
we go
sure.
into it. Okay. And again, I can maybe be too critical. I don't know, but like these are just some of them. Some of them are nitpicks, some of them aren't. So one of my biggest issues with it was the pacing. I think the pacing was god awful. I think you have this slow build the whole way up throughout the game, and then the
Yes.
final bit that everybody's waiting for is over in like 10 minutes, or like not even that. Like it feels just
Yes.
so rushed. And then like everything had no point. Like the mask, it just went nowhere at the end. Spoilers. And people are like, "Oh, but that was the point." It's like, okay, well, it was a shit point then, in my opinion. It was fucking. There was no payoff or anything.
It sounds like the Star Wars in Episode 8, where they went to the casino world and nothing happened with it.
Yeah, like Disney writing, yeah. But with yeah, that was a big issue I had problem with. But the second thing was in terms of consistency. Loki's character went through character development in 2018, and they just decided, you know what? That's inconvenient for us. So we're going to throw away that maturity that you learned in the first one, and we're going to bring it back every time we need you to make a dumbass decision so we can bring you away from your father and have your own sections. Because
Exactly.
if you were to think with any modicum of common sense, you'd never leave your father's side throughout the story. It wouldn't have made any sense. It's just completely full of irrational decisions in order to justify the story.
Yeah.
And then the final point. I'll let you go then. I know. Sorry.
He's ready.
No,
He's
no,
ready.
it's-
He is
Yeah.
so ready.
No,
Like,
I just
can
wanted
hear-
to add something
Yeah.
from your point, like
Okay,
this
yeah,
one.
go there, yeah, and I'll
Uh,
say my final point.
So it's just like from your point, like the pacing with Atreus just going his way, leaving his father with irrational thoughts. That's exactly how I felt about Ragnarok. I felt like I was bored as fuck during Atreus gameplay. I'm sorry, people, like if you guys liked it, but it wasn't my jam.
Mhm.
And the thing I mean, I can understand they do this, but it's like the liberty they take on the North mythology, which I particularly adore. I know how hard it is to actually understand because they're text that kind of like, I mean, it's not even text normally. It's just like oral, like poems that were like
Yeah.
transmitted from generation to generations. But
Mhm.
they're kind of like clashing each other. Sometimes it isn't really logical and stuff, but there are things that exist and like to the point when you compare in your brain like how the Ragnarok he's such a giant like mess when it happens. I mean, it's literally the end of the world.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's only this?
And I wouldn't
Like,
even mind. The whole thing was about like Surtur as well, and you only see him in the background for a couple seconds, and then he's gone.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, what was the point of all that? Sorry
lad.
to cut you off. Was there
No.
a bit there solo just before I?
No, no, no.
No, okay.
Continue. I was waiting for your final
Grant,
point.
Box, were you saying something just before I went on?
Yeah, I will add. So, Solo mentioned the god before Poseidon.
Mhm.
Poseidon is a fucking great god. And let me go through why. So, everyone knows Poseidon's the god of the sea, right? He's the
Is this worth
equivalent of
cutting the point
Neptune.
off?
It is, it is.
Okay.
You wait till I get to the my
Okay.
point.
Okay.
So
alright.
it's the god. So Poseidon's full like god title is the god of the sea, storms, earthquakes, and horses. Fucking horses. So there you go. That's all.
Nice. Nice.
The amazing fight about Poseidon is literally that he's the tutorial boss.
Yeah.
That's how epic the journey is, guys.
My final point then was we're bringing it back around to politics, boys.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I do. It kind of. I'm not going to go
Why
in.
did the Nashville shooting happen? Let's discuss it, boys.
I'm not going to lean too much into the politics, but it was just a point on because it really stood out to me with Kratos. There is no problem with showing a little bit of like weakness or like a bit of emotion with Kratos. I don't mind that. But like I feel like if you're going to do it, you wait for the right moment because you had Kratos start like tearing up and crying at like maybe halfway, 3/4 throughout the game. And that was like the first moment you see that.
Yes.
But then they pulled the same trick again at the very end of the game. It's like, well, you
Yes.
already pulled that card like fucking 2 hours ago, so this doesn't have as much of an emotional impact as it would have done. So now I don't see this as a big emotional moment. I just see this as an emasculated man. I don't like. I feel like they've really, really tried to weaken Kratos on purpose to make it so that Atreus would be more of a.
Jotaro nerf.
Well, yeah, I feel like they nerfed him because like the only way they go from here, I feel
Oh
like.
god, testosterone nerf.
I really feel like they did though, because with this, yeah, look at it from this point, right? They are obviously setting it up where they want you to like start playing as Atreus going forward, right? At least some point. Might not be the next game, but they're looking at it, right? Um, so they take Kratos out the picture then, but like compare it with God of War 3. You have that amazing intro. Same with Ragnarok. I will give it. It had a really good intro, right?
Yeah.
Both games. Okay. Now let's look at both endings. You have Kratos going fucking ham on Zeus at the end of God of War 3. Super satisfying final fight. Really, really good.
Sacrificing everything on
Yeah.
top of that. Like, it could have been a real ending and stop here.
Yeah.
Of course, there was the cliffhanger where you were like, "Oh, there's no more Kratos."
Yeah.
but
But
but I
then,
mean, it could have been anything.
with Ragnarok, not only do you not get to fucking have your rematch with Thor, but like there's just no satisfying ending to Kratos whatsoever. Like the entire end point of the game is just taken away from Kratos. It's just all on Atreus, because Atreus is the one that solves everything with fucking Thor's father. What's his name? King
Odin.
Odin. Yeah, with Odin. Like Kratos kind of takes a back seat at that point. Like so, I didn't like what they did to Kratos by the end of it.
Yeah.
So that they were my points. I feel like.
I mean, I do understand that he kind of comes out from another land, another mythology and stuff, but at the same time, yeah, he's still a god.
Yeah.
Like, he should be able to be here. And actually, I think people like would have preferred that, like that he was. I mean, if he was actually extremely relevant to the story and actually changed stuff.
Wait,
Like, to
hold on a
me,
second. You're saying people want to see the God of War and God of War games?
oh,
That's crazy.
crazy, no?
Correct
No,
me if I'm
like,
wrong.
yeah.
That kid that Kratos goes around with,
Yeah,
Atreus.
Atreus, or
Atreus.
whatever he's called, is he not meant to be Loki?
He is, yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
He
saying
is.
He is
Atreus
Loki.
because yeah,
Yeah,
interchangeable.
I'm just
They kind of stuck
yeah.
with Atreus throughout the game, so
Yeah.
they're implying it. Well, not implying. They're literally
No, they're
stating it.
literally
Yeah,
saying it.
yeah, they're literally
Yeah.
saying it. But
And really, that's the liberty that I really hated. Is like you read any text of the North mythology about Loki, and you're like, what an ass.
well, can I just pull
And
this point out? Oh no, sorry. I just need to stop interrupting. Sorry, go ahead.
and
It's not
and
intentional.
like you know what it reminds me? It reminds me of like, we got you with the end of Game of Thrones. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
all the plots and subplots has been like resolved by someone else that you
yeah.
were expecting, and it's literally like, you didn't expect it, so we won.
Bait and switch.
No, actually, no. Like,
Yep. No, 100%.
That's God of War's gonna have that, but instead of like someone else ruining the plot or resolving the plot, sorry, they just have Scorpion and then link it back to Kratos being in Mortal Kombat.
so now I'm going to get back to the actual topic, which was like the storytelling in the Soul series and
I just
exactly
want to.
what you were.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
I actually was gonna link that up with God of War, but
holy shit!
yeah.
No. Well, do it then.
Well, get on with it. Can I just point out who here likes Atreus? Like,
I'm not really.
I fucking
once
hate
we're
him.
playing God of War.
He's so unlikable. But anyway, yeah. My whole point with the storytelling was basically people want to throw this at like people only think that the Soul series doesn't have the story just because it's not a linear story. Like
Yeah.
that's their only problem with it, you know. Like if anybody went through the bother of reading through these things, I saw this stupid ass comment on Twitter. It was like, "Oh, the only way you can figure out the story of Souls games is by watching 30-minute videos on YouTube." It's like, okay,
Or
counter
reading.
counterpoint. Let's think up of a mad scenario here. I don't know that the person who made the 30-minute video had to figure out the story to make the 30-minute video. So how the fuck did they do it? Oh, they read shit. like I don't understand why
that,
people think the
fucking
videos
make
just
that
popped out of
point.
nowhere. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, the people that make that point, literally the ones that when an NPC's reading, they skip it and just like, oh well, that don't matter, and then just fucking go on with
exactly.
killing the
Oh,
next boss.
That's it. That's exactly that. And you know what? I feel like if someone was thrown into Sekiro, it will be like, it's all baked. Yeah, sure. Yeah, because you have like actually alphabet, like linear, and you know what, Sekiro, I feel like is a really really good point to actually start to understand the storytelling of the Soul series,
Mhm.
because it helps you to actually like read,
You know what's funny?
which people are not doing.
You know what's funny? Even though Sekiro, from a gameplay perspective, is my favorite, it's actually one of my least favorite in terms of lore.
What?
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't think so, right? But it's because it's so like it's so much more straightforward in terms of like it's kind of given to you a lot more than in Dark Souls.
You might think like this, but not really. There's a lot of thing that is like really up to theory, because
Oh no, there's definitely theory, yeah.
even though the era like actually exists in the real world, uh, it is one of the era like from Japan where it is the least known because it was closed. And of course, like you guys probably played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the original, but like the winner write the story.
Yeah.
True, but like I mean, if you take we'll go for Bloodborne, right? Because
All right.
Leifon's a bit quiet over there. I need to hear his his
What
breathing.
do you wanted to know about Leifon?
Yeah. If you
Bloodborne's
if you
mid.
look at Bloodborne and you look at Sekiro, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of complexity of story, I don't think you could tell me that like first playthrough through Bloodborne for the average player, they understood what the main thing was about.
Nope. I had no clue what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
You were
Right?
just told, hey,
That's-
you're a hunter in a hunter's dream. Have fucking fun, my guy.
Yeah. Whereas with Sekiro, again, I'm not saying that you can't theorize because there are definitely like areas to theorize, but I feel like a lot of it is more spoon-fed to you than in terms of the other Souls games. Because I feel like by the end of Sekiro, I had an idea of what was going on. By the end of the other games, I did not. I'd need to like spend a lot more time looking into it to actually.
Unless you
like,
look
fully
at Dark
grasp.
Souls 3 and realize, man, the lords are just lazy bastards that don't want to get in the flame. They just don't want to be part of the Kindle and the Link to Fire.
For real, bro. I
Yeah.
really like the concept of the Soul of Cinder as well. The fact that like it's the culmination of everyone trying to
Tell you to
light
go
that
fuck
fire.
off.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will say, like with Elden Ring, on that same topic, like there's a lot to theorize with a lot of different characters, but you only like start piecing together the story.
Mhm.
Isn't like through a lot like dialogue is like only like a little bit of it. Like it might not even be 10% of it. You actually like piece together the story from like items that you get.
Very true.
So Vike's story, you'll know very little from him. All you really see of him in the game is before you get to one of the churches where you get the maiden cloth,
Mm-hmm.
is you see his dead maiden and his spirit of when after he's frenzied, like protecting that area. But then later on in the mountain at the top of the variants you get him in the Everdrill, where it was pre-Frenzied Flame, where he was using a lot of his Draconic powers because it was either Fortisax or Placidusax that taught him a lot of the Draconic things, because he was the one that was meant to be the next Elden Lord until he fell on his path because of the Frenzied Flame. But you don't know all that unless you read the item descriptions.
And see, that's another point as well to bring it across from a God of War and Souls games comparison is in terms of storytelling, is the fact that I feel like everyone who played God of War had the same experience, and I feel like everyone who played the Souls games had their own experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Dark Souls 1.
Massively.
Your playthrough versus Box's playthrough.
But you see what I mean? That's what I love about the storytelling so much, and it's really made me respect the theorizing aspect. And I'm like, from a writer's perspective as well, that's why I'm so interested in looking into this lore and like looking into like how they went about it, because I want to try and like put that into my own stuff. Not the lore, but like the idea behind like leaving stuff open ended in
Yeah.
a way. Not too much where it doesn't make any sense and convoluted, but enough so where it's like there's pieces there that you can crumb it together, and whether two people come into the same room and come away with different ideas, they're both not necessarily correct or incorrect. You know what I mean?
I will say, in terms of like, on top of that as well, I do agree with what you're saying there, Shane. But in Elden Ring as well, like mentioning what you said and on top of what I said, I feel like with reading it, you get the different experience, but I feel like not only do you get a different experience, but in terms of storytelling, you can choose your own path, really.
Exactly.
Whereas God of War is just laid out to you, like, you've got to do this.
Yep, exactly.
Whereas Elden Ring, for instance, you could either be a hero, you could be just someone that sits by and watches it happen, or like one of the endings, the Frenzied Flame ending, you literally like burn the world.
I've only
You
recently
just want
discovered.
chaos.
I've only recently discovered that there's also like a cutscene for the Dung Eater ending and stuff like the Age of Despair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like it's there's just so much to all of these Souls games, and there's so much to respect.
There
and learn.
was like a fan edited ending where it was called the Age of Absolute, and in the ending cutscene, it's the three fingers and the two fingers basically combined to make like a full hand.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty
And
cool.
there was actually like someone has found cut dialogue that was in it, so it possibly was going to be an ending because they've data mined this dialogue, and it talks about and even has like saying the Age of Absolute, so they could have been like a perfect pure world rather than like the somewhat perfect world you get from Gold Mask ending, or like where you just kind of see the world in darkness from Rani's ending.
One final thing I'm just gonna throw out before we finish, because you kind of reminded me there with like hidden audio lines and stuff. Boys, Artorias's lines that were never implemented. What the hell?
Oh, I've seen some of that. Yeah.
That adds so much more context.
And they didn't bring it into the remaster. $40, please. Go fuck yourself. Can't believe they
That's why I
made
never bought it.
$40 fucking dollars for a fucking
bought
remaster.
it
At least
twice.
Skull of the First Sin was an actual fucking remaster. Damn it.
All right, boys. I think unless there's any final, and I really ending now. Any final?
Let's go on to the very final ones.
Okay.
Politics.
We'll let you go for. Oh, fuck off. Okay, so we'll go. We'll go with you then first. Well, Box considers his life choices.
Go for it, Solo.
I had one final thing about the storytelling from Sekiro.
Yeah. By the way, this doesn't have to be only storytelling. If there's anything at all you want to.
No, it's more about like the big picture. Sekiro has the advantage compared to, I mean, can be an advantage and a disadvantage actually, but compared to the other like FromSoft to have a setting that actually exists. And the thing is, the whole mythology that you can like implement into like any Japanese story, it actually still work with Sekiro, so it makes it so much bigger. Like the true monk, like did anybody understood which myth it was referring to?
I've not played Sekiro, so unfortunately I
Yeah.
can't answer any of these yet. However, from you telling me this, I'm definitely getting more involved because I really do love mythology.
Sekiro is
Uh
brilliant, bro. You're really gonna love it.
yeah. Like I'm just saying this for this boss, but it is actually coming from a real legend of like a Miko who ate like some sort of mermaid meat, which actually turned her like
On.
cursed. No. uh, and like
Is
I'm
it
not
the
going.
story of eating the mermaid yokai?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Okay, I'm involved now.
Yeah, it's
So please
it's
continue. I'm
it's
gonna
a
sit and
lot.
enjoy this.
It's a lot about all of this, and that's why like all the placement of the bosses, like for example the Divine Realm, where you have the carps that are below the dragon, which refers to like literally the legend of the carp going through the river to become a dragon. All of this actually works without being presented in any way in the game. It's just because it's basic knowledge from real life myth. And that's actually how brilliant I see Sekiro. Like, you don't have to have anything telling you in the game that when you are in the dilapidated temple, there's like these piece of paper that means something. Like nothing tells you about it, but you know just because it exists in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really all this storytelling, like even like these little references to, I mean, the fishing hamlets from completely different kind of story.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, all of the sacred water like setting for Ashina that of course doesn't exist in the real world. All of the interior ministry story that is kind of wasted in my opinion. They could have made so much more, which I thank the mother of LMTSR to actually like leading his mod toward an after story basically with this, which was really really interesting. I still think he made pretty weird decision for his bosses, but that's another story. It's gameplay wise. No, there's really a whole lot, and that's why like box really when you're going through Sekiro, uh, try to think about like the story, but also like try to think about the Japan mythology, and you'll be like, holy shit, there's so much.
I'm very much looking forward to Sekiro now.
Do you have any idea when you plan to start?
Uh, I'm gonna. So my main focus is on the 15th. I'm gonna be sorting out my editing
Mm-hmm.
because I'll be upgrading fully to
Adobe. Yeah.
Premiere Pro.
Oh right. Yeah. Sorry.
So once I've done that, I'm gonna solely focus on editing. So I'd expect to maybe start Sekiro either late April or May.
Okay.
Yeah, start for my birthday.
Yay!
Woo!
Okay, guys. I think we will leave it there. Uh, I just want to say much respect to the Soul series in general. as I've said before, I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, it's helped me with a lot of mental stuff. Just even in real life, it's really, really helped me get some stuff together and kind of change my ideas on stuff. And to go a little less serious, it's just given me a really fun experience and showed me a new way of storytelling that I didn't really accept before. So
I don't know about
recommend
you.
it.
I think I've got the opposite opinion from it because now I just strategize everything. I just see walking down the stairs as like a fucking bed of chaos situation.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. And I think season 1 is nearly done. I think we've maybe an episode booked for Monday with Kevin. Depends on that boy is hard to get. So
Hentai episode.
Oh, when's that episode?
Catch you guys later. I appreciate everyone listening. If you were listening on Spotify, there is also the YouTube channel and vice versa. RedHeadRambles podcast. That is all you need to look up, and you should find that. Check out the main channel, Shane Tour. All links will be above on the banner if you're on YouTube. And the Discord server link will be up there as well if you want to check out for notifications and streaming. We stream pretty much every second day or so. So I'll catch you later.